child, you would wait and watch from far away, but you always knew that you'd be the one that worked while they all played. And you'd lay awake at night and scheme of all the things that you would change.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome on in to the first night of week one. Oh, I can hear myself there. Of the Victoris Rival Draft. I'm Sai. Last night you had Becky Bear. Tonight you have the Sai Bear. And I'm joined by Salt Spreader and soon to be Shibby as well. Though Shibby's having, just getting on into the rift soon enough. Shibby, sorry, Salt, how are you feeling tonight? How are you feeling about the games that we got coming up?
I mean, tonight's games are going to be pretty exciting, fairly standard, best of ones. So things are going to be a little different than I was doing last split, right? Last split it was all about those big series, best of threes, best of fives, but going back to best of ones, every fight matters, every little bit matters because you got to have that mental fortitude going throughout the night. And again, these teams just formed. Draft was just this weekend, so these teams are going to be a little shaky. So maybe we'll see a lot of comfort picks and things like that tonight.
Absolutely. I mean, you're kind of edging into the format a little bit, and we will speak about that. But absolutely, you can't really afford to be greeting tonight in this best of one. You have to
Hmm.
bring your A game in each game that you're going to be playing tonight. But yeah, just kind of breaking down the format for us a little bit. As you mentioned, the players have already kind of been in their draft. They've had time to form their teams. They've had the team captains picking who they want to play for them. But now we're into kind of the live event. So we're going to be actually seeing some of these games. And as you mentioned, it's best of ones, and it's going to be happening every Tuesday night. So make sure you're returning to the channel
Hmm.
chat and keeping pace with what's been happening with these teams. But yeah, we're going to be checking out two of six teams um, tonight in our first game, where we're going to have unicorns versus ducks. So we're going to be honing in on those two teams. But anything else that you kind of want to bring attention to regarding the format?
So it's round robins, right? You're just gonna play every team at least twice, and you'll see how you do and see how you place up. So opening week, gonna be the shakiest. That's expected, but this is where you get to show off your stuff, right? This is where you can be the craziest. This is where you can make things happen. This is where you can have some fun, right? So I'm super excited to see what picks and what little strategies, what cheese strats could come out tonight, right? Got to eke out those wins, especially if you feel you aren't as high on the power rankings. You want to try and make things happen that way. Eke out a couple wins in the beginning.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe we're going to see some cheeky cheese strats, as you're mentioning. The players haven't had a massive amount of time to play and
Hmm.
get comfortable with these teams that they're on. So, how do you think they've probably prepared for these matches? Do you think that they've really sunk a lot of time into developing like core strats in just a couple days, couple weeks, or do you think it's more so just gonna kind of like you say, a few comfort picks, a few comfort strats? How do you formulate this as a team going into your first game of your first night?
Mhm. And, speaking to a couple of the captains, right, some of them have done the research, some of them are just chilling, so we'll see how things roll out tonight, but, I mean, I think game 3 is going to be a really crazy one, considering how the draft went and some research that I did do, at least with some of the role strengths and some of the power rankings of the teams here. Overall, I do think that going into this, the Guardians, as those defending champions, are looking really strong, coming into this one.
Yes, okay, and we will get a chance to see them at some point, spectate them at some point tonight. I think it's in the
Mhm.
third game of the evening, so we will be able to check in on them, as you say, the reigning champs. So that'll be very interesting. Do you expect for them to, shine again, or is there a lot of pressure on them as a team to do well, or do you think that they're still going to be bringing their A game?
I think they're still going to be bringing their A game, right? As usual, you got some of the familiar faces there. Noah Tuck again as that captain, right? So, I mean, with that leadership, I think that was one reason why they actually performed super, super well last split, right? And I think Deseris and Footstomp are back once again. So again, looking really, really strong. Just a great draft coming in from the Guardians captain. But at the same time, some of the other teams are looking pretty strong. Take a look at the Tigers, right? They got the bot lane. I think the strongest bot lane of all of VRS draft or VRD last split, right? Amistan and Doghugger, some of the strongest players there in that bottom lane, and they got that solid pickup there in the jungle. From Karthik and a couple new faces to what was I believe, what was that roster? I'm not too sure, but uh, three of those players are the same. So they're looking pretty strong coming into it. The
Okay.
Falcons, Beanie again was really strong last split. He did have a couple of missteps on the Falcons, but looking to take it home this time. He was a finalist last split. The Ducks, though, completely new team, new players all around. So we'll see how they pair up against some of these super strong teams.
Yeah, absolutely. It's nice, I'm sure, for some of the players knowing that they've already got some kind of comfort, some kind of knowledge of one another's play styles and how they feeling each other out a little bit. They're more used to that, right? Having played with each
Hmm.
other already. But looking at like some of these newer teams, then some of these completely new rosters, it's probably going to be a little bit of nerve-wracking pressure on them tonight, especially Ducks
Hmm.
versus Unicorns game one. But sometimes there's that kind of dark horse, where hey,
Yeah.
nobody can really scope us out because they've not been able to see much of our strats yet. And just to remind you that all of the players within these games are ranked from plat to diamond. So that's kind of the caliber of play that we're going to be expecting. But of course, when you put these players on a well-defined team, you have these captains that can, help moderate one another and help really bring the team together. Then we should hopefully see some really crisp, clean gameplay, much better than you would expect to see in your solo queue games with a Tryndamere running it down and you know, uh, we've all seen
Hmm.
we've all
Disco
seen the
Nunu,
mess that it
everything
can.
from
Yeah,
that.
the Hecarim
Definitely.
one
And
tricks. But yeah,
mhm.
sorry, as you're gonna say, Salt.
I mean, everything, as these 5v5s do start rolling out, again, comms really matter. And as these teams start to get better, they start playing together more. That's when I really want to see things start happening. That's when I want to see everyone get that synergy rolling because synergy is more important than rank, in my opinion, because everyone's around a similar skill level. There are a few really high notes and a couple low notes, right? But at the same time, if you work well with your team and you're willing to make sacrifices for each other, that's how you start rolling things out, right? So this week, I don't really expect things like that to happen. Maybe they've had like one, maybe two at most scrims, right? They were just formed on Saturday. So that means they've had what, Sunday, Monday, and game day Tuesday. So they've had a max of 2 days to get scrims rolling before hitting that game day or game night rather. So we'll see how things do roll out. I'm super excited though. This is always the most aggressive and most fun time to have things roll.
Yeah, absolutely. Night one is definitely going to be the heated night where the teams are going to get to scope it out and see if their practice is coming to fruition and if they can achieve some solid results, right? Because
Hmm.
obviously, as we know, they're going to be playing for these playoffs. The top four teams are then going to be progressing onwards. So you do want to make sure that you're not in those bottom two. So every win counts, every win matters. And especially like you're saying earlier, Salt, in these best of ones, you don't really have time to take chances. So do you think there's do you think there's much in maybe playing slow and steady, very safe, but then the risk factor of not really taking those chances, not really taking those gambles to pay off, potentially trying to take the occasional snipe, maybe make a play that might be a bit of a gamble?
I mean, judging by the current meta we've seen in competitive right now, it's very early game centric, right? We see a lot of early game champs picked. The Lucian's becoming more prominent, the Nautilus, the Samira. Early game junglers are still really prevalent too, and we're seeing a lot more carry tops being brought out this tournament in the MSI as well, right? So I think having high risk, high reward playstyles here are going to be very important today, right? That's what we're looking to see.
Yeah, absolutely. And have you had chance? I know you mentioned Salt that you had chance to speak to some of the captains. Have you had chance to speak to any of the players? I know that you're saying that you've seen some of them play before in previous leagues.
Hmm.
Is there any kind of
Yep.
relationships that you've been able to form with the players? Had any or a chance to get any of their thoughts and feelings going into tonight? And welcome in Shibi as well,
Going
by the
into
way. I don't know if you can
hello,
hear us, but we
hello.
can see you.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah. Hello, everybody. Sorry for being late. You guys unlocked the last character. You guys played enough games. Sorry about that.
That is all well and good. That is all well and good. I was just asking Salt a question there about whether you'd been able to have a chance to speak to some of the players. So we can hear from that Salt, and then we can kind of welcome you in, Shibi, and say hello.
Well, speaking about, some of the players, right? I have good relationships with like especially some of the Tigers players. I'm good friends with them. So no one, Karthik, the guy always does his research and always takes a look at every single detail, every single solo queue game, always looks at all that stuff, right? So that's really, really interesting to see, right? A lot of just focus and wanting to win this split after having it ripped away in game number 5, coming back hungry, coming back for blood. And I mean, all things considered, right? You just gotta keep rolling with the punches, and I think so far these drafts look really good for the most part. power rankings aren't super crazy, right? I think every team is relatively similar in strength, but there are a couple outliers. There are a couple things that can be punished, a couple players that can be looked at here to make things happen. So with that, why don't we take an introduction here to Mr. Shibby while we are here?
Hello, everybody. Sorry for being late. My name is Star Chibi. I'll be the color caster for this series tonight or today, whatever time zone you guys are in. And I'm honestly really stoked to be here. My first time on Victoris, and hopefully not my last. And I got to catch some of the broadcast while I was driving home, and I think one point I want to bring up for all the players that are going to be playing in this league, and just the first week we're kicking it off. Now is the time to cheese, right? Now is the time to look at the Talia rework, look at the Olaf rework, because a huge patch is coming in 12.10. And, the meta is pretty set right now with the Wukong jungle that's
Hmm.
being really popular with a lot of these other picks. And I think this week one matters more than you think, right? A lot of these teams will come in, they'll look at week one, they'll be like, you know what? Oh, if we dropped a game here, we dropped a match here, it's fine. It was just week one. But this one win that you can sneak out, that you can leave out, because you pick something that the team's not used to, the team that didn't scout you properly, right? You get that win in, that might sneak you into playoffs, that might sneak you into that second, even first seed sometimes. So I just say every game matters for sure. And right now is
Hmm.
the time to like explore the meta, explore, uh, you know, you know, trying to be different because 12.10 is going to shake a lot of things up, right, for all leagues.
Hmm. Very much so. Very much so. 12.10 is a big patch. Everyone's getting a little tankier. Everything, it's slowing it down a little bit. I still think it is still going to be a damage centric meta, but it is going to shift a little bit from those early mid game champs to mid late game because of just how hard it is to punish those really
Mhm.
hard scaling champs now with those, additional 70 base health is really hard or really, really big, especially for junglers. Resistances as well also help out quite a bit. So, more scaling picks in the jungle might be a little more prominent. It's harder to punish those squishy ADCs in lane. So, a lot of things changing up here next patch. So, want to see these big plays happen now while they're still allowed to happen.
Yeah.
Well, you know what, Salt? You're not going to have to wait too long to see what does end up playing out in this first game that we're going to be seeing between Ducks and Unicorns. Of course, there will be the other four teams that are going to be duking it out as well, or dueling it out as well in the at the same time, but we're going to be honing in on Ducks and Unicorns. Do you guys
Hmm.
have any predictions? And maybe, I don't know, production, if we have kind of a graphic of some of the teams, maybe some of the players on, anything like that. But do you have any predictions of how this first game might go for any of the teams, but I guess particularly the teams that we are going to be seeing as well? And I'll come to you, Shibby.
I, as much as I want to see, like I said, cheese, and how much I want to see these kind of different, intuitive or not intuitive, sorry, different picks. Uh, I've always tend to see the pattern throughout all leagues, throughout everywhere, that the first week, the first game, everybody's gonna play super safe. They're gonna play what they're comfortable with. They're gonna play, they're gonna play. I wouldn't say not necessarily not to win, but they're just gonna play not to lose, right? So they're going to come out with what they've practiced in
Hmm.
scrims, if they've been scrimming, what they, we're not, I don't think we're going to see anything crazy. We're not going to see anything in. We're going to see maybe the Wukong jungle. We're going to see probably these long range hyper carries that have been in the meta for a while, right? Jinx, Zaya, Aphelios. We're going to see these tanky supports come in. I think the most variance you're going to get between these two teams and all the teams that are playing this week is you might get some variance in the jungle just because of the two champions that have been reworked. But I think the meta is pretty set in stone, and I think we're going to see the same sort of champions, and it's just who can execute on their draft better, who has the easier to execute
Hmm.
composition, because I'm a big fan of that.
Okay, so you think it's going to
Yep.
come down to the draft
Got
before the game even
it.
begins? But yeah, Sol, any thoughts on that? Agree, disagree? Got your own thoughts?
I mean, I definitely agree. I think draft is very important, but we have seen even in super high levels of play that sometimes draft is not enough to overcome player skill gap, right? But again, because these players haven't played together, I do think the draft matters so much more. If you can grab yourself something nice and easy, something not to lose with, but to just have some nice, simple things, some simple R buttons, right? Just play your R comp. Press R comp, win game. That's all you really have to do in these early stages, right? If you can press your R buttons better than the enemy, you usually have a better chance of winning. So play around those cooldowns. Make sure, you save them for big objectives, right? I think Baron is really important in this current meta. Although Soul has shifted away, right? We haven't really seen a single single soul in all of MSI. Every team has just been getting maybe 2-3 Drakes at most, so nothing too crazy coming forward, right? So no hyper late games, nothing along those lines. Everything is early game centric. They're looking to punish, looking to press their R buttons at that level 6, go in right then, right there.
Okay, all right. So from the draft pick to the R pick, that's what we're going. That's what we got. Chat from our two casters here, from Shibby and Salt. And I mean, speaking of that draft pick as well, Shibby, are there things that you're expecting, or champions, I should say, that you're expecting to get banned out straight away, or well, pick bans, right?
Yeah. I think it's a crime if you're gonna let Wukong in first pick. It really is. I think Hecarim is still good in this meta right now. I know he got some nerfs, but I think he recently got buffed with his AD. Full clearing, I think, is kind of coming back into the meta, right? I think 5 camping is not really that important anymore. Or if you really want to get
Mhm.
like a good timer, you want to pick a 3 camp jungler, something like the Lee Sin. But I think Viego is still good. Hecarim is still good. Wukong is really good right now. Olaf, even though he got his changes, still very good. Talia, another champion, got reworked. Another full clear champion, right? Like all these junglers that are full clears, you kind of have your pick of the litter, but I think Wukong kind of sits at the top right now just because of how much damage he does, how tanky he gets, right? You look at his abilities, it's pretty insane, and he just needed that little extra bump. So I think
Mhm.
pick ban, you gotta ban him if you're on the red side. I think for me.
All right, well, you know what? We don't have to wait long to see what's actually going to be taking shape here, because we're ready to jump into the drafts, chat, and see what's gonna be happening. So, Salt, Shibby, take it away for us.
Alrighty, alrighty. Here we go. And, as we say things like that, right, take a quick gander there. Some of those bands very similar, very, easy from what we've seen before, but the Renata going to be first pick by the Unicorns, followed up by, like you said, that first pick Wukong and a Lulu by the Ducks. So the Ducks are the ones grabbing up that very strong Wukong jungle that you've been talking about.
And it's really odd that unicorns here, they ban the Vex, the Zaya, the Vi, and the Vi pick is striking, right? It's got to be a target ban for sure. But I think there are, like I said, so many better junglers. The Renata Glass priority is interesting, right? Because it's that is a very, in my opinion, hard to execute champion, right? You have to be on point with your stuns. You have to hit these really huge taunts or these huge ultimates to really get value out of this champion. And if you and your duo aren't on the same page in that bottom lane, a lot of things can go awry. A lot of things can go incorrectly, right? You can miss a skill shot because she throws the Q the wrong way, or vice versa. And
Mhm.
so Ducks sticking to Lulu, sticking to Wukong, that's a solid combo. Unicorns on the other side, though. Zac, Kaisa, Renata, a lot harder to execute, a lot more skill shot base, and they're gonna need more time to scale. Duck's probably gonna answer with their own ADC here. I would say the Jinx is still up. You have Aphelios. You can even go Lulu Cog if you really feel like it, but I feel like it's a little bit too immobile here.
And one thing, I don't really like the Lulu pick all that much, especially into Renata, who scales very well, right? The Lulu just not super strong in lane anymore because of some of those nerfs. But the Vara's pretty solid. They do have the range advantage coming through against the Unicorn's bot lane, right? So having that in their back pocket's going to be really, really nice. But as we go into those bans, that Ornn, I think that champion is really broken. I'm surprised not many people have been picking him up. He's very easy to play. Well, he's a hard tank wise, he's pretty hard, but compared to the rest of the roster that you have here in the whole League of Legends, champion pool, he's not that bad. But at the same time, he's also pretty strong in lane. He doesn't really lose all that hard, and he just becomes tanky and gives 5k gold to your entire team by just existing, right? But the
Yeah.
Sylas going to be banned away here, so that means unicorns are looking for some key ultimates. After the Renata, just one good ultimate is not enough to warrant a Sylas, so they want something else, more wombo to that combo.
Yeah, and banning the Silas out early here opens up Ducks to pick the TF if they want to, right? Like now there's
Mhm.
no traditional counter, quote unquote, right? As Silas has seen that he can take the
Mhm.
ult and match TF. Ducks have a TF angle here perfectly. He has a lot of lane set up, right? With the Gnar, with the Varus and Lulu on the bot side once they hit level 6. It'll be really nice roaming with your Wukong as well. So there is the TF angle. Don't know if they're confident enough to pick it because it is not the strongest champion in lane. And as we've seen some of these leagues and in some of this in this level of play, just having a really lane dominant champion, somebody that can exert a lot of pressure and take a lot of pressure away as well, is more than enough to win you this game. As we do see the Urgot being locked in into the Gnar, I don't love Urgot in this meta. He does not have the clearest build path right now. It is like Death's Dance, Titanic Hydra, and then you build your Mythic Third, which is
Oh.
Frostborn. And then there's the Talia, and I think that's actually Talia mid, which is going to go the Everfrost build. And I think it works. I know Midbeast has had some comments about it. I know other individuals have been playing the new Talia, and they actually don't see her more as a jungler, and they feel her more as a solo laner or even as a support bot laner. So it'll be really interesting to see picked into the mid lane. I don't think Ducks have that much matchup knowledge into it, right? Whatever you pick into it, you're not going to say, oh yeah, I've played against the new rework Talia, because it's either been most likely banned or hasn't been picked up because nobody's willing to play it in that lane. So Unicorn's taking the advice, right? Throw in some cheese.
Yep. And I think the Talia pick is really, really solid here. It's pretty strong into the Wukong, into the Gnar. They will instantly stun themselves if they try and dash through, that shaky ground. It does so much work against both those champs, right? The new stun, I think, is really huge.
Yes.
And a lot of the matchups that were bad before have just gotten even worse. So Talia, again, I think really strong. And moving into that solo lane position, I think that's exactly where she belongs, right? She has her wave clear is a lot stronger. She can clear waves almost instantly now, and that big Q using that that shaky earth, really strong as well. The slow is pretty imperative to make things roll, and Talia, great roam potential with that passive, right? So it's just so much stronger here in those solo lanes, right? Play that in the mid lane, roam top, roam bot, just look for plays. You push waves really fast now anyway, so just look for those big movements.
Yeah, and Ducks do have the immobile bot lane, right? If they get split off, you either burn a flash or you die to Talia wall, right? Because she cuts you off. And you have the ability with the Zac to leap over the wall if they come over. You have so much follow-up, right? Like, it is almost a mind game where if Talia walls you off, you flash over, Zac can then elastic slingshot over the wall and set the team up perfectly, right? You have so much follow-up CC that it can be hard, and it will be hard for both Lulu and Varus to kind of navigate not the lane necessarily, but just these mid to maybe these early dragon fights that are going to start coming out, and how Unicorns utilize their CC. If they stack it properly and they don't just burn it all at once, it'll be really imperative for them to get these team fights started, because on the other side, you have Wukong coming in with his double cyclone knockup, right? You have gravity field, a lot of terrain control coming out from the Ducks team with the Varus Qs, with the Victor W, the Victor Chaos Storm. There's so much, when I say terrain control, there's so much ways that Ducks can force Unicorns to go a certain path in the way that they want to. And if they go through these choke points, Unicorns is going to have to pay a lot with their life bars.
Exactly, and both these teams aren't really high range apart from maybe the Varus, right? So you're not going to be able to see any of those big, oh, hi, I'm Xayah, I'm going to hit you from 10 light years away. Oh, I'm MF, I'm going to ult you over the wall. So it's a lot more close quarters here from both of these teams, but I think it's so easy for the Zac to just jump on a Victor, jump on a Varus, and, Lulu Peel, I don't really think is enough to deal with a Zac and a Kai'Sa following up with, a Renata R over top of them all, right? So Unicorns, I think, have drafted themselves a really nice lineup here. The Ducks have drafted pretty standard, though. They've gotten themselves that Wukong that you think is really powerful, and I do agree. He has not the greatest clear, but his ganks are amazing, and he also does objectives quite well. Very strong in that respect. But the Zac, I think no one really plays against him, right? So, or not that often. So ward spots that he knows where to hide, going to be very imperative. You have to ward in awkward positions, but that also leads Talia to just look for roams on her own without that jungle support and just gank that bot lane, gank that top lane with no Zac needed.
Yeah, the mechanical outplay here is that Lulu needs to wild growth as soon as she sees Zac's jumping over with elastic slingshot. Because right before Zac lands, you can elastic growth, stun him out of it, and then eventually give your team time to recoup. Very slow, very small window before Zac can press R after he gets knocked out of his E. So then that's where you look to strike, because then Zac will get like very little value without flash, and you'll look to knock up your team. But that is possible. You can do that. I don't know if Camcom's hands are fast enough to polymorph Zac out of the air. That'll be interesting to see if she can do that. If she can, then this Zac pick gets immediately nullified, right? It just gets done. So that's what we're going to look to see, I think, from UNC or Unicorns here, and just see if they can get these engages off and see if really test Camcom on this support Lulu, right? You'd have loved to see something like a Nautilus, Blitzcrank, an Alistar, something like that to knock Zac out, but they locked in that early Wukong Lulu, like you said. I think you're right. I don't think Lulu is that strong in the meta at the moment. She just kind of is there, and if she can, save your team, get these shields off, like you said, it can help. But definitely an engaged support or something like Renata, who has a lot more utility in that aspect of turning fights and giving your team like a revive passive or a half revive passive. It can be more effective in these longer drawn out fights.
And Lulu realistically only provides shields and maybe an attack speed steroid, but none of the champs on the Ducks comp really enjoy attack speed all that much. Wukong already has that inbuilt attack speed steroid. Same
Mhm.
with the Varus, and the Gnar doesn't really benefit from highly from attack speed either, right? So the Lulu pick just does not seem all that valuable here. It's not strong in lane. It scales decently and gives some decent shields, but Renata does that and provides a lot more utility, a lot stronger in that respect. But Ducks just don't really have a hyper carry, and Lulu is that hyper carry support. You need that champion to make things roll, like a Kog'Maw, like a Twitch, like a Jinx. But again, the lane phase is really rough, but maybe the Vars will be able to carry them out of it.
Yeah, I think your saving grace here is maybe this Varus goes on hit with Halo Blades, right? And then
Hmm
that is your saving grace. That's where you go, okay, I have somebody W, or I can E somebody with Ardent Sensor. And when Varus starts going, when he starts applying those blight stacks with his attack speed, it can become super problematic, right? I mean, going lethality here can be kind of bad because if there's a Zac and an Urgot, two very, very tanky, beefy boys. But you do have a Victor to chew through that. You do have a Wukong who can chew through that with his Q that reduces armor. Like you do have ways to
hmm
reduce the tankiness on the unicorn side, but we're gonna see what Duck's 80 carry decides to go. I think there is a very, very viable angle to go on it here, and it'll work out really, really well.
I think the on hit is a lot more valuable this game, right? It's still pretty strong. Kraken plus Blade of the Rune King just does so much damage to that front line of the Urgot Zac. And having a Lulu to enhance that, especially after you run out of those Halo Blades autos, get you that attack speed steroid again, really really strong. But you know again, it feels really weak, especially into champs like that Kai'Sa, like that Renata, because then once you go that on hit, you are going to be outranged by the Renata, by the Talia. The Kai'Sa will be able to jump in on any form of CC, right? So you lose that lane power if you do go that. So we'll see what the Ducks do choose to do.
Okay, yeah, it's I I want to see these two teams clash at an objective, right? Because it really is. Can Ducks get there first, right? Because if Ducks get there first, they have the ability to poke people out with the Varus. They have ability to poke people out with the Victor laser. They can throw a gravity field down. They can simply just do the objective while the unicorns are just simply trying to navigate how to get into this space, right? How do we navigate? How do we make sure our Zac isn't going super far forward and then the rest of the team can't follow, right? Because your dive in this case really is Talia, Kai'Sa, Zac, right?
hmm
Urgot's
And
gonna try to execute, right? Yeah, with the R.
right. They have really great engage. They have really great ways to play it out from those unicorns, but the Ducks, I just think their draft is a little off, when it comes to identities, right? They have some poke and decent backline there with the Varus Victor, but the Gnar Wukong, they want to go in, but their support does not enable that. So it's a little bit of a
Yeah.
wonky draft there. So I think the unicorns do take game number one here, just from draft alone.
Ooh, so you think unicorns take game number one?
hmm
I think I'd have to actually think. I value Wukong way too much right now in the meta, and I do agree that it a bit of a draft um anomaly right now with Wukong and Gnar diving in, but then you have Varus and Victor trying to play the outskirts of the fight. I There isn't a lot of glue to hold this comp together, but I think Wukong Gnar is such a strong diving combination, and like I said, if Camcom can execute on that composition or execute on these wild growths and on these polymorphs onto the right targets, it becomes a lot harder to burn through this Ducks composition. And I think, yeah, I think Wukong Gnar is the equivalent now of like the old school Narvin combo where you'd go Gnar Jarvan, right? You knock them up, and then you set Gnar up to get another knock up or another stun in, sorry, with his R, and then you just start laying into them with the Victor Laser, the Victor Chaos Storm. There's a lot of area of effect damage coming out from the Ducks here. And I think if they can get to these objectives first, if they can get to the Dragons, they can get to the Barons or the Rift Heralds first, they win these fights outright and they can dictate the pace of these team fights.
Alrighty, and with that, with both our opinions in, let's head over to a quick break, see what chat decides. We'll be right back as we get things rolling here for game number one. We will be right back. How are we doing, everyone? Game number 1 of the night. The Unicorns taking on the Ducks in blue. So, things are rolling, and we see a little bit of shenanigans happening here. The entire side just getting that ward down. Wukong going in for a little bit of an early, first little bit of damage. So they get the first hit, they get the first lick in, and just standard shenanigans coming through here.
Yeah, it looks like a pretty standard defense. I think they're just trying to feel out where they're stacking their champions, right? Because if blue side is stacking on the top side, then red team thinks they can go on get more vision onto the blue side's red jungle and vice versa, right? So just trying to figure out where these junglers are starting. From my experience, it doesn't matter if you know where the junglers are starting, because your top laner or your bot laner or whoever will not know jungle timers. They will not ward 2-minute 45 to 3:15. that gank window, nobody knows about it. It is the best kept secret in the world, apparently. But they will know.
Surely.
You guys are communicating. Surely, right?
Yep.
Surely they'll know. Surely they'll know.
Surely
They'll be
they'll
like,
know. Surely they played long enough, right? Right?
yeah.
Oh, Bleeding Wolves tries to go in for that early Each. He's not going to land it, though. So that cooldown's down for a little bit, so a little bit rough here. But at the same time, bot lanes, their outrange advantage coming in from Last Dinosaurs, right? The Renata, decently strong level 1, gets that shield and is able to trade with her shield because it does damage. So just a great level 1 champion, but does not really do much more until hitting that key level 6 Brave point. But this Victor, though, going to be having a great time. Or not, sorry, this Talia is going to be having a better time, but level 2 have been hit for both bot lanes.
Yeah, and I think right now the HP war being traded and bot lane's getting the better of that, the red side, right? Camcom trading our HP away for Kai'Sa's here. That's just a more valuable trade, right? Cam has more access to pots, has more access to health, while Juanito here is down to his biscuits at the moment right now. Has already used his first pot. While you look at Varus, he's still got the red pot in handy, so they can trade super aggressively, go for not necessarily an all-in, but just for a super heavy trade. Varus can then
there's the gank.
Pot.
Red buff coming in, forces the flash away. Nero, I gotta run away, but at the same time, Camcom going in for the play as well, but cannot find much. But the good stun coming in from Last Dinosaurs, but they can't find anything more. But the PhD in the mid lane having a pretty solid time. Great gank from Neural Synaptic.
Yeah, really nice burning that Talia's flash. Not a super mobile laner, right? Very immobile, right? So can't really, if that gets reganked, if PhD here can control the wave and get it to start pushing on his side, he'll set himself up, and he'll set him and Neural Synaptic here for a very good regank onto JDK here. But like you said, on the bot side, a lot of aggressive trading going up, but no summoners were burned, interestingly enough, from either side. So both are holding on to it.
Great damage coming through from Last Dinosaurs alone, just having a great time in this lane. But Paul, they're looking for the play here. They think there's a jungle, but great gank from the Zac. Finds the play, and First Blood goes over to JDK on the Talia. The gank was not enough. The PhD did not burn that flash, but there's another fight in the bot lane. Camcom forced to heal, can't flash away, can't find anything with the exhaust onto Paul. Woo! Can they find the play? Juanito going for it, but that's a lot of damage down. The heal has been burnt as well. No summoners left for Paul, still has that flash. Will be able to flash away, but Last Dinosaurs could look for the follow-up. Gonna leave it at that, though.
All summoners burn pretty much for the bottom side here. Camcom got bursted out, right? And that was that HP trade that we were talking about earlier in the lane. She was trading a lot of her health, right? Trading a lot of it just to get Juanito down super, super low. But that left Last Dinosaurs up with pretty much full health, able to tank everything, right? And that was off of that beautiful Q stun that she did. Got Camcom, stunned him into Varus here, and then just got the double stun and almost the double kill down.
They need to give this kill to Lulu. They see the Wukong. They can't leave. Juanito's trying to walk out, but they should have just tried to give the kill to Wukong or to Lulu, but they are going to give that one over. Neural Synaptic finds that kill. Last Dinosaur's trying to run away, still has the flash available, and will be able to walk out of that one.
Yeah, he's gonna walk it out easy peasy, and that's just Juanito and Last Dinosaurs trying to shove the wave in, right? They're trying to get it to crash into the tower.
Oh, Sloth finds the kill onto Last Dinosaurs. The great roam. Masked Hydra did not see it, and the PhD has shown why he has that doctorate.
He just walked in so casually, like no pings were given down, nothing. He just walks through the bush right in front of Zac's golem and just says, you know what, I'm going to pick this up really quickly. And what was a really good start from Unicorns is now the gold's evened up once again, pretty much, right? 500 gold or 400, 500 gold lead for Unicorns here. And all that work that they put in, I mean, you know, I'm more afraid of Wukong 101 than a Renata picking up that kill in the bot lane. So overall, the kills are on the right members for Ducks here, right?
Exactly.
Victor and Wukong. Well, you look on the side of Unicorns here, their support has 1 kill, which isn't going to be super impactful. Picks up the Lucidity boots, which is nice. But if you're not roaming with them, if you're not flashing and trying to get the cooldown and the value out of that cooldown reduction, then really you're just paying for some extra movement.
Look for the play, cannot find it. The Sloth PhD has to play a little bit more respect. Again, flashless there in the mid lane, but Camcom taking a lot of damage again. Cannot find the handshake. The one more auto will do it. Juanito has no flash. They can't find the play, but they are able to walk away.
And that's the angle where last dinosaurs probably should have just flashed to confirm
Flash
the kill.
autoed.
Yeah, but I think they were more worried about Varus doing the return damage onto Kaisa, so she stuck around just to be there and really just keep Cam away from buffing and really empowering this Varus. She doesn't have to flash out. Unfortunately, she has to back. She's going to be down in EXP, but I mean, overall, you know, summoner trade, yeah, Unicorns gets the summoner spell up onto bot lane. They can maybe look for a regang, especially with the Zac, who's been finding really good gank angles right onto the mid lane. And I can't see why you wouldn't be able to do a bot side, especially if you have pink warded like pink warded the tri-bush like Unicorns has.
And the wave state not really in an ideal position, but the Zac is not there to look for those ganks, right? So I don't know if Paul and Camcom know that, so they could potentially look for a dive here onto Bonito. There's no hostile takeover available for the Renata, so there is a play to be looked for, but I don't know if the Lulu has enough, setup for that to work, but they are just going to look for the base. Bonito's going to be able to farm up this wave and catch up in that CS department. They're a little behind, but Peekaboo might be caught out here. Whoa, but beautiful hop of the flash. Finds the stun, but the Zac misses the root, but here comes Talia looking for the play. All that damage goes to, he cannot find the Narbar, and he's going to be taken down. Bleeding Wolves finds the big play.
And that was just Bleeding Wolves calling the boys in, right? Like, listen, Zac, come over. You know what, Talia Wallace, invest that into
squad.
Top lane. Yeah, the whole squad came into the top lane just to secure that kill. Urgot picking up as well, but now they're going to lose the dragon on the side, so they're going to have to trade. Herald is up. It just spawned at the 8-minute mark, and this is a good trade. I think right now, I think a lot of teams, like you said, they're more focusing on giving up the first 2 or 3 drags and fighting maybe 3 and 4. I think that early Herald, especially if you can invest it possibly into this mid lane or even this bot lane here, you can start getting your team so far ahead, and these gold leads can become
they force the heal. KT Paul forced to run away. The handshake lands. They could look for the play. That's a lot of damage. Exhaust is down. No flash on the Boris. One more auto will do it. And it's just an easy peasy kill from Monito's Soul. But the roam around Sloth PhD, Neurosynaptic, they have the ultimates. They're going to burn them. Monito's Soul trying to find the outplay. Uses that killer instinct to get out. The heal has been burned as well. Last Dinosaur's taking a lot of damage. No hostile takeover available. Bleeding Wolves is here. The flash is out. They're trying to find the outplay, but he cannot find that stun. Monito trying to run in front of him, but the Zelia, they can't do anything. But Camcom's arrived at the bot lane as well. Monito's running. One more auto will do it, but the laser is there. Bleeding Wolves is stuck in a 1v2, but it's looking in his favor. Can he find it just a little bit more? The Alcove Gaming is working out here from Neurosynaptic, but they have the roam from Sloth PhD right behind. Camcom is doing their best to shield as much as they can, but there is Sloth PhD. The exhaust has been down, but the Burger Flip has been found. No ultimate available just yet. Finds it. He finds the pullback, and he gets the kill. The fear is there as well. They're looking for even more, but KT Paul will take that kill. No, it's not. PhD takes that one in the end.
What? The Alco Gaming right now? That was a solid 20 seconds of Wukong walking back and forth. That was the most elite mechanics I've ever seen around Alco Gaming. It's only week 1. It's only game 1, and overall coming out on top. I believe Unicorns came out on top 5-4 to about a 1 point. Almost 2K gold lead now, right? It's fluctuating. 1.9, 2K gold lead coming out for Unicorns after all of that. Urgot picking up 2 kills there, but a scary Victor is 3-1. That man has lost chapter. He's got Phoenix Codex in hand. You know, those kills, like we said, they have to go into the right targets, and a 2-1 Urgot versus a 3-1 Victor, I know who I'm more scared of.
Oh yeah, that 3-1 Victor is going to be a monster, but the Talia does hit that Mythic Spike just a little bit earlier, so can be looking for those plays now, can be looking to move around the map. But, you know, the only roam we've seen from this Talia so far has been the top side. You know, the Zac and the Talia were just hitting that tower as the poor little Kai'Sa was getting ran down, but they find the handshake. They find a little bit more damage there onto Juanito, but Neural Synaptic once again in the bot lane. Hostile takeover's been used, finds two, but it's not going to be enough. There is the Wild Growth onto the last dinosaur, but he is the last of his kind, going to be taken down as well.
Yeah.
Oh, the damage coming through. There's the Chaos Storm, but Sloth PhD might be finding the outplay. No, it's going to be JDK. One more Q would have done it, but the Ignite is not enough. Sloth walks away. Calculated play by the PhD himself.
Both flashes burn. JDK burns the Ignite as well. Victor's just going to burn the TP and force Talia to back and get the advantageous lane state here. As bot lane has been the center of attention these past 10 minutes, right? We saw one gank in the top lane. The boys came from Mass Hydra and JDK, but everything else has been centered around these bot lane plays. It's been counter ganks. It's been punishing individuals trying to shove the wave in, and it looks like Varus and Camcom have learned their lesson. They're not going to stay any longer as Vision is getting cleared out.
Neural Synaptic again, waiting in the wing. Sloth PhD, though, gonna be ganked again. No flash. They find the root. They find the play. All that damage is coming forward, and a little bit more will do it. Who's gonna get the shutdown? Goes through onto the Talia. Exactly where it needs to be. But Camcom stuck in the wrong place at the wrong time. But Neural Synaptic finds the Cyclone, finds damage. Flash forward from KT. Paul, no ultimate available. They try to find the Lotus. The dinosaur will fall again. Once again, they go extinct, and Neural Synaptic going in for a little bit more. Juanito Soul lives for just a little bit longer.
That man is paying rent at the fountain right now. Last Dinosaurs has been on there 2-3 times in the past 3 minutes. They are just bullying this Renata. Rightly so, right? Super immobile, no flash. It looks like she's very trigger happy on the Q, and they're looking to take these trades, and they don't realize that Neural Synaptic still has the ultimate, still is in that bot side, and didn't clear his camp, so even game where they're trying to even it up. The gold is still in Unicorn's
they're looking for the play, looking to find it. They find the roam, they find the root. Great Evercross from JDK, and the kill is taken by JDK.
I'm sorry. I apologize, Salt. I'm more afraid of the 302 Talia now with the Everfrost backing with a mountain of gold in her pockets. Probably going to finish her boots off. Probably going to pick up a needlessly large rod here as we see it.
Oh
and
my.
Yeah, that is a
that Talia is so scary.
Talia.
Oh my, but they're looking for the roam again on the bot side. It's looking like a party. They find the root, they find the handshake. They're looking for a little bit more. The PhD, once again, a calculated move, looking for more. But last dinosaur is finally going to be taken down. There is, but it's not enough. That potion does absolutely nothing, but they find their Berserk, some decent damage, but it's not really going to do all that much.
Yeah, I'm back to the fountain once again. Last Dinosaur super thirsty right now. They're going to take the dragon here as well, Ducks, with that pick. Mass Hydra can maybe look for a steal. A lot was invested, right? Chaos Storm and Varus Ultimate was invested into that last pick, so maybe JDK and Mass Hydra can do the 2v3. Kai'Sa is coming up from the bottom side as well, as we see in the top side some trading going on.
And Juanito Soul's there on the flank. They could look for the Zac play. They find some decent damage. They might just eliminate the jungler right away. Finds the steal. The spike was used for HP. There's the damage coming forward. They can't do anything as they're getting eviscerated by the Kai'Sa Zac combo. Neural Synaptic finally taken out. Zac and passive. Juanito Soul might be taken out, but the outplay in the top lane. Solo, Bolo, single, dingle. JDK trying to run for their life, but they cannot find their way out. Sloth PhD going to be pulled back. There's the Talia. Last Dinosaurs finally looking to make a play. Finally looking to help out the team, but Sloth is running for the hills, running at the speed of sound. But the Zac can't find the elastic slingshot, but it will not matter because he is running towards the wrong side of the map. You're stuck there. The flash forward, Masked Hydra finds the kill.
And overall, Unicorns, they get the dragon, they get the bounties, they get the kills onto, what, 4 members of Ducks here? I don't think Camcom died during that exchange. She was in the top lane, or top side of the bush, sorry, watching her team get eviscerated, like you said, and beautiful, beautiful engage. I think you said it earlier in the draft, right? The engage tools coming out from Unicorns are so many. They can re-engage, they can dictate the pace of the fight, and you just saw there a 3-0 Talia went from 302 to 414. Kai'Sa picked up a couple kills. Mythics are coming out all across the board for Unicorns here, and they have a very, very sizable 6K, nearly 6K gold lead coming in for them.
They're in such a great spot to carry this game. They're looking so good. Some of the golds on this Talia, a lot of it's also on the Urgot, who's been having a great time in this top lane. You know, even on CS, Urgot is in just such a great spot as well. So, you know, sometimes the Nart looks really good, but he's not looking too hot right now. This Urgot's just having the way in the top lane. This island looking so much better for this Urgot. And no, they're looking for it again. Masked Hydra going to be spotted, though, by that control ward. but the rotation
he's gonna-
towards this Rift Herald is going to mean a lot.
Yeah, this second Rift Herald going to be used to maybe break open the mid lane tower, or tier 2 here, and they can even use it to break the bot lane tier 1, however they want to use it. I mean, they've been winning these team fights pretty handedly, right? Unicorns have been engaging and properly target focusing, so this Rift Herald can end up becoming a 2-charge or a 3-charge Herald, and might net you a inhibitor.
They want to dive this Talia, but it's so hard to do so. But this big spell has been used. They look for the dive, though the root has been found right away. They're also not taking so much damage from the tower, but the ignite is there. But Talia does so much damage. Sloth PhD flashes for it, finds the kill, but may just pay for it with their life. But the Wild Growth is there to make them even stronger, even tankier. But Bleeding Wolves does so much damage. The Nars TP down, and they do find the shutdown. But there is the Berserk. They find some decent damage onto 2. But here comes the Zac. The base numbers are too high. He's too tanky. He's too strong. There it is, so much damage coming through. But the flash forward, the Kai'Sa just flashes to her death. Nado's taken down, and this fight has turned for the worse for the Unicorns. They're taking so much damage, they can't do anything between their own 2 towers. The quadra kill has been found. This Victor is so strong. This Victor is online, and he's carrying the game on his back all on his own.
That man just picked up 4 kills. That's a 10-3 Victor off of that. And that fight, they were just trickling in. Unicorns didn't play to their team comps strength here. They were just trickling in. They weren't engaging and locking down one target on their own. Victor was allowed to free roam. He was allowed to just outskirt onto the fight and just fire lasers, fire Q. His Chaos Storm had massive, massive value. And it looks like once JDK goes down, there isn't too much follow-up damage coming up from Unicorn, so they definitely need to keep her safe. I still think they're in a very good position, but what was once a 6K gold lead, it's narrowed down to 1.2 just in a matter, like a blink of an eye.
30 seconds was all it took, and they found the big plays. Great looks coming in from the Ducks. They know what they're looking for, and they looked for a big fight when this Talia was isolated, right? Usually it's the Talia looking for the plays, moving around the map. That's what's been working for the Unicorns. But when they catch out the Talia, there's not much left, right? Caught out on their own, it's just a little Talia. Can't really do all that much up against the Victor, up against the Wukong. But they were able to trade it at least 1-for-1, but the team committed for a little bit more and was taken down because of that.
And now, Victor has the Shadow Flame, has the Leandre, has essentially caught up with this Talia, and Victor just outscales Talia, right? Like, that's just how it's going to happen. 3 items, 4 items. This Victor's going to start one-shotting your Kai'Sa, going to start one-shotting your Renata Glass. I mean, he's going to start outputting so much damage. And then you have Lethality Varus on the back, just sniping anybody out. So it's a matter of, can the tanks of Unicorns,
JDK looking for something here, but Peekaboo might be the one who's found the angle, might be caught out again, and there it is. JDK taken down. Peekaboo shows their face, finds a good Peekaboo angle, but they're looking for a little bit more. Neural Synaptic going to look for the plan. We know the heal has been burned. There's the ultimate from the Varus, and it's going to be Neural Synaptic who claims that kill. That's a very dead Kai'Sa, and that should be a very dead dragon.
Yeah, they're going to have to give this up. It is only the 3rd dragon of the game, so the dragon stacking. And
the Zac. Oh, he's going to have to burn that Rift Herald, trying to do anything to get their way out of there. Go, Zac, go, Blue Booger. Trying to run away, run for the hills, but caught between no man's land and his base. What can he do to get out? Trying to take the Hex Gate, but no, he's entered combat. He's been silenced, and the Victor looking to try and take him down, but that's a lot of healing coming through from the Zac. Still has the passive, but no teleport available. That's a very, very dead Booger.
Yeah, that guy, he tried to take the Hex Gate. I respect the play. I respect it for sure. You wasted a lot of time on the side of Ducks here, but now gold is evened up. Kill score is obviously up in Ducks' favor, but that's not necessarily a gold lead. Dragons are up on their side as well, and just the items that are going to come out from Ducks here, they just scale so well, right? Wukong, really nasty 2-3 items in. Victor, very nasty 2-3 items in. Varus is soon going to hit his power spike.
This could just be a one-shot. Yeah, it's a one-shot, but JDK walking in the wrong place at the wrong time. Might be caught out by the Victor. That's so much damage, but they cannot find anything else. Oh, Winnie's Soul going to get dove solo in the bot lane, looking for the big play, but the Gnar is going to go wide, and Winnie's Soul walks away.
Now, dodging that out. Beautiful usage of the Kai'Sa ultimate, able to get the bubble, or the shield, out there, and really just tank all of Peekaboo's damage, but Peekaboo's fine. He's going to heal up. As I say that.
Zac showed their face, finds that slow, but is it going to be enough to find the play? Bleeding Wolves looking for the play onto 2. Does so much damage, but this Victor is even stronger. Just not though taking so much damage, but the Divine Thunder healing keeps him alive. The flash over the wall cannot take the Hex Gate. And Sloth PhD once again calculating his risks, and 12-3-2 looking hot this game.
Yeah, got ganked early on this game, was bullied a little bit from the Zac, but feels nice. That nice quadra kill he picked up in the bot lane, another couple kills he picked up, against Zac and in
They're
the
starting the
top lane
Baron.
here. Now they're gonna start the Baron. 20 minutes in, they can definitely do it. Zac is super far away. Peekaboo does not have Meganar here, so now is the time to fight
this
for
is the
Unicorn.
time. They're solo looking Neurosynaptic. Masked Hydra stuck on the backside of this one. The wall's going to separate them out here, trying to find anything they can. They find the route only onto the Skeleton Crab, but Neurosynaptic actually glitches through the wall, looking for the play. Neurosynaptic so low, but the Zac has gone in too early.
Hydra?
Taken down, and that's just a free Baron. Oh, the Berserk! It's not going to do all that much. Oh my goodness, the damage from the Talia is just too much. But when he walks way too far forward, going to be taken down. But he's still alive. No, it's not enough. Their half revive is just not there. One more tick will do it, but the shutdown. Oh, he blast code. He blast code through the Talia stun. And we cannot find that arrow. But Sloth PhD, oh my goodness, the damage. The damage, one more, anything will do it. But Sloth walks away, keeping that 700 bounty alive. But Paul walked up way too far forward.
JDK on janitorial duty right now, cleaning up as much as he can, and that fight looked good for Unicorns. It was the fact that Masked Hydra is on the other side having a gentleman's duel with Peekaboo and not really doing his job, engaging in the team. And before he realized it was too late, he eased in, the wall goes down, the team is back together, and they just burst down Masked Hydra as if it's nobody's business, while the rest of Unicorns are stuck in a choke because of the terrain control, right? There was a Chaos Storm, and there was a gravity field blocking off that choke point, filtering down into Baron, so they had to go all the way around. They were super far behind Zac, and just a very clean dissection from Ducks here, picking their battles and picking the individuals to fight. But then a bit of an overchase. JDK picks up a couple kills. He picked up the Wukong, picked up the Varus, and now you only have 2 members of your team with that Baron, and what was supposed to be possibly an inhibitor pushing Baron is now just the Baron that takes it away from the table. It's like, we got Baron, you guys can't have it. That's about it.
Mm-hmm. And this Talia, though, is still picking up kills, is still sitting on a lot of gold here, and Sloth PhD is still susceptible to a one-tap. And that's a lot of damage going forth. They find the play, but the Wild Growth is there to keep the Zac, or this Victor alive. But there's so much damage, the Kaiser tries to dive forward. Neurosynaptic going to be the one who's one-tapped first. There in the back line, finds the pullback. There it is, 1,000 gold. There comes the Talia, finding that wall. Big play onto Camcom, sure, find their way out of this one. Has the Narbar almost filled up. The Zac is just healing too much. The exhaust is there. Finds the Nar to the wall. Might be able to find the kill, but no, the burger flip is there. The shutdown comes through.
Now, Unicorns, they're picking up kills here. JDK is getting these combos off, right? Especially with the Everfrost, and they're just getting stronger. This Urgot as well picks up the mythic second item, so he's super tanky. And now, what does Varus do into these beefy boys? What does he do into Zac and Urgot when he's on top of him? You can't really return that damage because he did go
Urgot.
Yeah, that's Black Cleaver, Titanic Hydra, and has the Frostborn Gauntlet. So a lot of resistances, a lot of health that it's really going to be up to just Wukong and Victor to try to chew through. But then they have to worry about JDK. They have to worry about Juan, who will be online pretty soon. Once he picks up, it looks like the Phantom Dancer with his Kraken Slayer. He's going to be doing a lot of damage. So it's front to back.
Oh my goodness, it's so close. The Smite Bite might be there, but there it is. That huge hostile takeover does so much work. The Bleeding Wolf so low, but there it is. The revive isn't enough. They might get the takedowns. They don't get it in time. They're trying to run away. No Narbar available though, but JDK stuck on the wrong side at the wrong time. So is Masked Hydra. They find one shot down. They're looking for 2. But
Gravity.
There it is. This is Zac trying to do as much as they can. It's just not enough. Teleportation device used in the mid lane though.
Yeah, they're going to push this mid lane. They just kind of got, out of position on the side of Unicorns here. They got the Dragon, yeah, but Talia and Zac were separated from the Kaisa and the Renata here, and they just were able to, again, Ducks, dissect the fight. They were able to say, you know what, we'll just kill the people that are in the pit. They have no way of getting out. Gravity Field catches them out of position, and then Victor's able to just clean up like he's able to. 15-4 right now. Has the Zanyas plus an endlessly large rod in tow. That guy is going to do a lot of damage if you leave him alive, which he was in that fight. And you can just see how these fights are going to turn, right? You can see how both teams want to play these fights, right? It's JDK getting a pick, using all the CC with the Q, following up with maybe Kaisa Burst, and that's it, or getting to execute off with Bleeding Wolves. On the other side, you have Sloth PhD dancing around the range of engagement and just using lasers, poking them out, or not necessarily poking them out, but bursting them out, and really punishing Unicorns if they're out of position. If they're not playing together, Sloth and Neural Synaptic will be able to burst you down instantly.
They have really, really strong burst, right? This Wukong has that big setup for this Victor to just chain lasers over and over and over again. And I mean, that's why that champion's really strong. He has that big setup. He has that big button that he can just press from stealth and load those plays that way. And so far, this game is still in favor of the Ducks. They're in a great position. You know, this Victor, again, I think he's one of the strongest mid laners in the game, at least the player. Sloth PhD, one of the highest coveted players, and good pickup coming from the Ducks, showing their worth here in game 1.
Yeah, I mean, he's really bang for your buck right now. 15 and 4 and 4, 4 items in on this Victor, almost full build coming out right now. And any team fight, any sort of, you know, if you clump up too much and that Chaos Storm starts to take over your whole team, or if that laser shreds through this Kai'Sa, this Taliyah, you lose your win condition almost immediately. Now Taliyah, 3.5 items in, has picked up some, you know, bargain bin items with the Verdant Barrier and the healing reduction, right? With the Grievous Wounds pickup as well. So stunting her item build a little bit, not doing as much damage, but has the Electrocute to kind of give her that cushion.
Oh,
and she's
Flash!
really looking
For the
out.
big
Wait
play.
a minute.
Peekaboo has no way out. Forces the Flash away from this Gnar, and that's their big engage. So, or one of their big portions of engage. So Neural Synaptic is now that only go button left available for the Ducks in this next upcoming fight.
And Masked Hydra picking up the damage here instead of going for a more tanky, you know, defensive option, maybe the Spirit Visage or the Force of Nature if you'd like. Instead, opting in for the Demonic
Oh, they're
Embrace.
looking for something here. Can't find it.
Nothing's gonna happen here. They're just fishing right now, right? They're looking for Unicorns to make a misstep, and then Ducks can just look to, you know, burst out somebody. They're sieging right now. They do have a lot of good siege potential with this Varus in tow. TP is coming in, though, from the back. Urgot's gonna flank.
Gnar just used the Gnar bar. He has no way in, and that one shot takes down Paul instantly. Sloth PhD stuck on the other side of the wall. Double kill going forward. Neural Synaptic doing their best. They might be able to find what Soul they do. The Death Dance to keep them alive for just a little bit longer. Not so much damage. Last item was taken down as well, but they find the kill onto the Taliyah. This fight should nearly be over, but Neural Synaptic going to be taken down by the Zac. This Urgot trying to do as much damage as possible. There is that Zhonya's Hourglass. Does he have the shield from the E? It's not available, and the PhD once again shows why he has the doctorate.
Yeah, he was able to dance around this range of engage. Kai Paul on the Varus went down almost immediately, right? Like Camcom died almost immediately to the Taliyah burst, but again, separated fights, they were split. Wukong had the attention of 3, and then you had Masked Hydra and JDK trying to essentially fight the rest of Ducks here, and Sloth PhD picks up another 2 kills for himself, picks up the blue buff as well, and the win condition is clear, right? If Victor stays alive, Ducks are just going to outright win every single fight, but...
Looking for something here. That's a decent amount of damage. Kai'Sa finds the dive forward, but the Zhonya's is there. The Kai'Sa's knocked out, stunned up, looking for a little more. The shutdown goes over to the Zac. Soul trying to run away, will be able to stay alive for a little bit longer. One more auto will do it, but there it is. The half revive finds it, and a double kill goes over to the Zac in the jungle.
Yeah, they get the revive off. They get 2 kills here. They stagger Ducks here while the Baron is up. If you want to do Baron, now is the opportunity.
Now's the time.
Neural Synaptic is up, but they can zone him out properly, right? They have 5 members. Send the Urgot down and just zone him. Get him out of there.
Soul point.
Do the Baron now. Yo, it is going to be soul point for this next dragon. Whoever picks it up. Kai'Sa on wave clear duty on the bot side, but I don't think she can hold by herself. They have enough siege. They have the poke. You might as well have just sent Kai'Sa there to do damage onto this turret.
Go so fast.
Baron, sorry.
They are going to take their base, though. Baron has been claimed up, but the Dragon's going to be given in response.
Yeah, Dragon for Baron plus a bot lane tier 3. I mean, that's the best you can get out of, especially when 2 of your members are down on the side of Ducks. Getting that Dragon, putting yourself on soul point, and also opening up an inhib in case a team fight goes Ori or in case a team fight goes wrong. You have the double TP coming out from Ducks, and if that's up while that bot lane turret is down and you maybe ace the team, that's an end game situation right there.
That inhib's going to be really important, and it's on most likely JDK to just try and push these waves out, try and deal with this Victor in this mid lane, but this might be a catcher on a peekaboo. They find the burger flip, looking for some decent damage there onto him. The Gargoyle Stoneblade has been popped, looking for a little bit more damage. The ultimate's available, gonna go, finds it, one more will do it, and he cannot even proc the Narbar, but they're looking for a little bit more. Sloth taking a decent amount of damage, but the Zac is found with the play. Kai'Sa onto the back. They find him. They find the Victor. And this just might be the play that wins them the game. Camcon taken so low, finally taken down. Here's Synaptic is next on the menu. And the Var's trying to base, trying to do as much as they can. But they found him. They find the stop.
Wait!
And Urgos trying to end the game.
Urgot's gonna try to end the game going down mid. The rest of
very
the team down there. Yeah, everybody's dead. An ace coming out for the Unicorns here. They can possibly push to end the game here. 28 seconds
Have the Baron.
on to Victor. 21 seconds onto the Gnar. I don't think he can hold if they push fast enough with everybody focusing the same turrets. I think they'll be able to end the game here. But do they have the guts? Do they have the chutzpah to end the game here?
It's so close. It's going to be a photo finish right here. This Victor's up in 10. It's very scary. Masked Hydra going to tank up this tower. They have to keep this cannon alive for as long as possible. They're trying to do as much as they can. It's only Victor. It's only Gnar. Can they do it? The passive has been procced. They're looking for a little bit more. The damage is there. Winning Soul is autoing, gonna flash away, but Peekaboo does so much damage, and so does the Victor. They find one, they find two, they're looking for three, but it's not ended by Bleeding Wolves. Game number 1 is taken by the Unicorns in a stylish finish.
Very, very stylish, down to the wire. Everybody almost died on the side of Unicorns. Ducks almost had it, but we saw the win conditions, right? So the moment Victor died, the Ducks team collapsed. They just collapsed, and you can see the damage chart here. 39,000 damage coming out from Sloth. Really, really carrying that heavy load, but it was just not enough. 18-6. Just because you got good KD doesn't mean you can win the game here. Really, really good team play coming out from both of these squads. But I think Unicorns, they understood their engagement. They understood the Kaisa into Zac dive, like you said, is so problematic. And it was just the last team fight they caught the Victor out.
And that's exactly what I was talking about. If you just find that Kaisa dive, she does so much upfront damage, and you're instantly going to take down anybody you set your eyes on. And that's exactly what happened, right? The Victor, that was the key target. That was Mr. President, and Mr. President fell, and the game was won. Just great looks coming in from the Unicorns. But again, the Ducks showing why they're still in this series. They're still strong. They're looking good, but this night is not over yet, and we still have 2 more games to walk through.
We have 2 more games to walk through. Congratulations for the Unicorns for picking up the win here in this first game. I really, really liked the composition. I liked the Taliyah. I like to see it. I was hoping it was going to come out, and it really did. It put in the work, right? It didn't do as much as a Victor, but again, Victor got a nice little quadra kill in the bottom lane, and he picked up another couple kills. Like, Taliyah was doing the job of bursting out the squishies. Really, really solid, on point with the combos. Would make you think that this person was playing Taliyah all week and really just was practicing those combos. The EQs were really, really clean. You can't dash through the W anymore. Very, very nice crafted composition from Unicorns. Ducks, they played really well from behind, though, right? They almost brought it back, which is very scary for any other team that's going to be facing.
Yep, and we'll be figuring out what we're doing next, but we'll head over to quick break as we get things rolling here for game number 2 of the night, and we'll bring it back to the desk right before that. So we'll be on a break, and then we'll have a little desk segment right before we get into the next game. We'll be right back. You don't want to miss it. These games are going to be crazy.
slow-mo. I'm a god, but I actually don't know. Homie, better put your pride aside. I'm a Benz, get more like a Volvo. Your best stuff looks like my words. Synapses, fire, and burst. Got the whole crew with me, about to do damage. You know we ain't average. I ain't gonna say this again, but it's in my time. Better look in my eyes. I'm a genius in the skies with my heart on my sleeve. And you force, you oblige to a king in his prime. Everybody got a line. Sit back with the stars in line. I finesse like my life on the nine. Was a diamond in the rough, and now I shine.
No one could stop us, they'll try, but they won't. Nada nos puede parar. Oh no, we're wide awake now. Our eyes are wide open. We're running this world. We're keeping it turning. We're living like giants. Yeah, giants. We're bigger than giants. We're giants. Oh, sleeping giants. Sleeping giants. Yeah, shutting it down. Been in the ground and my people all up in this place. Spinning this thing, go to my rank. Royalty up in my veins. I'm loco, think I'm so cold. I say stunting, ain't no going back. Now they ask where Kiki's at. I'm like, you can't hang with that. 쏟아져 빛이 멀게 된 눈이 멈추지 않아. Once we go, 내게 더운 날로 모든 뼈 빨리 달려. 넌 못 따라와. True damage we do it. True damage 보여줄게. 뭐든 쉽게. 이기든 지든 my crew make the beat. No one could stop us. They'll try, but they won't. Nada nos puede parar. Oh no, we're wide awake now. Our eyes are wide open. We're running this world. We're keeping it turning. We're living like giants. Yeah, giants. We're bigger than giants. We're giants. It's not the way we're weak, but we coming right back. This time you're gonna see how we do it like that. We're living like giants. Yeah, giants. We're bigger than giants. We're giants. Oh, sleeping giants. Sleeping giants.
I keep on shattering time. I might just leave you behind. Homie, you stuck on rewind. You just quit sleeping on mine. You got your back on recline. When I damage your delicate spine, please don't act out, shy and surprise. They be like, what you mean? What is your winning scheme? I got a giant team. Biggest my self-esteem. Run it back, man. They think they go hard, I'm like, come again. You run at a time and I'm busting in. While you stumbling, I got this blade in my hand for your punishment.
We're wide awake now. Our eyes are wide open. We're running this world. We're keeping it turning. We're living like giants. Yeah, giants. We're bigger than giants. We're giants. It's not the way we're weak, but we coming right back. This time you're gonna see how we do it like that. We're living like giants. Yeah, giants. We're bigger than giants. We're giants. Oh, sleeping giants. Sleeping giants.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the caster desk. Okay, that first game was wild. So, Shibby, talk us through that. How did you picture it going that way? I'll come to you first, Salt.
I mean, realistically, it went the way I expected, right? But the whole middle section, like, you know how they say the journey is all the best part of going to your destination, right? So the destination I was correct about, but the journey was completely off what I thought would happen, right? So the Ducks were able to have a gigantic comeback, but then they faltered, but then it finally went the way it was supposed to, where Kaisa just gets that big dive off with the Zac, and they find those big plays, right? So again, it was what I thought it would be, just a different sequence of events than I thought it would have been.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I don't think any of us predicted a quadra kill for the Victor into the bot lane, right? And him going from what was it, 3-4 to like 9-4 or 8-4 at the end of it. It was, excuse me, very, very like
insane.
it was a lot of influx of gold because we talked about the gold lead. It was 6,000 at one point. I think 14 or 15 minutes in.
Exactly.
That quadra kill comes in, the turret dive comes in, and now it's 1,000 gold lead off of shutdowns and everything that got influxed into Victor. But the issue is in that, unfortunately, with the Duck side, they just didn't have anybody to pick up that little bit of extra slack, right, that the Victor needed, right? The Victor was doing maybe, 90% of the work with the damage and everything else. Wukong was trying to put in that extra 5%, but the Varus was super, super ineffective and ineffectual, in my opinion. We didn't really get to see, and we were talking about this offline a little bit, some of those big chunking Q Varus Qs, right? That you like, oh, you seen like, oh my god, yeah, they have to leave, they have to base, right? Essentially the equivalent of dying if 75% of your health is gone from a Varus Q. I didn't really see any of that happening, and honestly, Varus was just an ult bot. He was really just there to peel, I guess, and kind of engage with his ultimate, and that was about it. And then you had Gnar kind of not playing around the Gnar bar as well as we could, right? He TP'd into the Baron with no Gnar bar. He TP'd into that fight where Urgot was on the flank, had no Gnar bar. Like, they weren't really playing around their timing and cooldowns as effectively as they should have.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Shibi, you mentioned even during the broadcast talking about, or in that game one, talking about how the Victor was really the strength of the Ducks, right? And would you say that I mean, what could the team have done better? What could Ducks have done better? Because it was going back and forth, like you said. Unicorn kind of through their early gold lead, and then Ducks were up in the scene, and then things shifted back to Unicorns ultimately clutching that victory. What could have been different, do you think, for the Ducks? And I'll come to you first, Shibi.
I think the defining moment in that game was the 20-minute Baron that the Ducks did, right? They executed it perfectly, right? What happened was the Unicorns, they ulted them off, right? They ulted the Talia ult off, but then Zach was doing a 1v1. The team fight was split. They had a lot of terrain control going down. And then they had 5 members on Baron, but for some reason or another, they decided to chase the Talia, the Renata, and the Varus, and Talia picks up 3 kills. So you go from 5 members with Baron down to 2 members. You have to wait for your teammate to spawn. So that Baron push that could have happened where you exert a lot of pressure with either a 1-3-1 or a 1-4, right? Because no one could really match the Victor, and you just send Gnar into the side lane so that Urgot has to match. You get a 1-3-1 going, or you even get a 1-4, you open up an inhib. You open up, you crack open their base, and that's when you can really start applying pressure onto the objectives, right? They were on Soul Point as well. They could have picked up a Soul if that Baron was effectual. So I think that 20-minute Baron over chase, that's where it all flipped on its head, where it's like, okay, wait a minute. They're losing control of this game, and now Unicorns are starting to execute on their engage options really, really cleanly. I think we saw the Kaisa Zac dive executed 4 times in a row perfectly.
Yeah, so just maybe a little bit of that inexperience in clutching that one out and taking that advantage forward. Yeah, coming to you, Salt. More of the same from what Shibi said. Anything of your own to kind of throw in there?
I think they did their best to try and keep this Victor alive, right? But I think the Lulu was just not as effective of a pick as it could have been, right? Again, I think it's mostly just champ differential there, right? I think Renata's just so much more useful that even though she was like 1-4 throughout most of the game, 1-5, just a better champion, right? Provides so much more value. AoE shields, that big ultimate is very useful, and that half revive actually came in clutch a few times. Even if the revive didn't go off, the attack speed allows that Kaisa or that Zac to just do that much more damage, right? So again, just the whole usefulness of the champions, right? Lulu's just not as good as she used to be, and because she's not paired up with the right carries to do so, I just think the pick was very, ineffective, right? It's just the pick, right? I think everyone played about as well as they could have, right? For the most part it looked okay. Everyone did their best. They put their best foot forward for game number 1. They gave us a show. But again, I said it right before. The draft is what mattered the most. And with that, the Unicorns were able to take game 1.
Yeah, and we saw that JDK, I believe, was the MVP of that game. So congratulations to them. I'm sure they get some kind of emote in chat. Look, I don't know what you got, chat. Give me something. Give me something here for JDK. But yeah, so Unicorns getting that first clutch win. I think Shibi, early you were kind of discussing how important getting that first early game win, or that first game win is in this whole tournament and in this whole split. But Ducks, they're still a pretty solid performance. This team, they haven't played together at all before, so coming together as a whole entirely new squad and doing as well as they did. I mean, they almost had it there.
Yeah, they almost mounted a comeback, right? And this is, like you said, a squad of 5 players that haven't played together, and we saw the performance that PhD brought out. I mean, one fight goes a little bit differently. One overchase or they underchase, and that is a victory for the Ducks, right? Like that is PhD getting that MVP. That is him hard carrying with that 39,000 damage. So they're still a scary team. I don't expect the Ducks to like be low in the standings by any means, because like I said, if anybody else on the Duck side picks up that 5-10% slack and PhD has these stellar performances that he's able to have, I mean, those are just wins coming in, right? You're cashing those out day in and day out every single week, and you just get him on a very strong champion, right? Again, 12.10 coming in. People are getting more durable for sure, but you're not gonna. It doesn't matter how durable you are. If there's a 14-5 Victor on your team, you're gonna burn through them, right?
Hey,
Like that's just
Thanos
what's gonna
snapped.
happen. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Oh,
absolutely. Yeah. Were you gonna say something there, Salt? Are you just taking a moment to
it's taking a moment.
relax? Yeah. Hey, you take that moment. And speaking of what's coming up in the next moments chat, we are going to be looking at our game 2. We are going to be setting up for that. So, gentlemen, can you talk us through, coming to you, Salt, first? You've had your moment now, so I'm going to come to
Mm-hmm.
you.
Yes, sir.
Looking at our next game, then we're going up Falcons versus Guardians. Now, Guardians were the previous winner of the like previous tournament. So there's a little bit of pressure here. I don't know. Maybe one of you know, how did they do in their first game? I haven't checked the results yet, so I don't know how
I
they've done.
I'm not certain if match results are posted just yet. I'll take a
Right.
quick
Okay.
gander here, see how things are rolling out here. Let's see. No, they're not out yet. So
Okay.
unfortunately, we're not going to be able to check on that. But what we can do is take a look here at the Hall of Champions and see what happened last split. And if we take a gander here,
Sure.
it was the Wizards who took home game number, or sorry, the whole championship series. So it was the winter side that the Guardians did win. They broke the Guardians curse. That's what I was remembering. That was the last time I casted VRD. But at the same
Right.
time, though,
Okay.
it's a lot of players from that roster, right? Noah Tech's back, Desirus is back, Foot Stomper, a really strong player as well. But at the same time, take a look at the Falcons. They got Beanie, right? That was a finalist from last split. They took those reigning champs to 5 games, and they were almost able to do it, but it was ripped away at the last possible second. XLs is back in the mix though. Been a while since I've seen him. That's my boy right there. And very fun to see him back, I think he was on PV for a bit. Now back here in VRD. Happy to see him back playing the support. Want to see those big hook champs coming forward once again. So just great stuff coming in from both sides. But I mean, the Guardians just look really, really scary this split, looking to break the curse once more.
Well, Shibi, I would want to know your input here, and I'm going to be coming to you. Predictions between Falcons and Guardians. Who's taking this one?
It's reigning champs, right? Versus the hot shot crew. I'm somebody that likes cohesiveness. I like somebody that likes stability. So I'm gonna go with the reigning champs on this one. I think they're gonna take game 1. I think we kind of saw, or sorry, game 1 or this game of this series.
Yeah.
We saw in game 1 of the Unicorns and Ducks, brand new squad. Like you said, right? They don't have that cohesiveness. They don't maybe have that control as a team to really kind of take away, or close out or clutch out that win. While as the guys that have won last season, I mean, they're chilling, right? They're playing. They're like, you know what? We've been here before. We can get this week 1 win. This is easy peasy lemon squeezy. While if you're mishmashing a couple players from either a team that was in second place or a team that took them to 5 games, gonna take a little bit of time to gel and mesh, right? Scrims are scrims, and if you got that scrim bucks, you can definitely cash it out. But this is now we're on the real stage, right? We're on live. You're getting streamed. You got nerves going in. Maybe all the communication is in there. Maybe you don't get your champion picks. There's a lot of things that can be thrown at you that you cannot be prepared for if you're a new squad.
Yeah. And and
Hmm.
and hold on a minute. Actually, yeah. Oh, yeah. The Falcons, they're crying right now. You just made them cry. From that one.
Oh,
No, we'll see what cohesiveness they will bring. Salt, what are you feeling? Falcons or Guardians?
Hmm. You know, s- I gotta give it to the Guardians. No attack. Been knowing them for a little bit, right? So gotta give it to them. I know Desert is just a really strong bot side as well, right? So I think Guardians, that synergy is gonna be really important here. So gonna have to give it to them going in.
All right. Well, you know what? I'll be the odd one out, and I'll support the Falcons. I'm used to being an underdog. Let's see what happens. I got my team Falcons. We'll see what happens. 2-1 for the Guardians. We're gonna be jumping into the draft pick chat. Let's see what we got cooking here.
Mm-hmm. And we should be rolling very, very soon here. We'll see how things do fall in game number 2 of the night. The Falcons on the blue side, Guardians on the red. Both of them are blue when you look at their logos, but hey, we don't really get to see that tonight here in actual game. both can't be on blue. So
Mm.
we are just rolling here. We do have a couple coaches here though for the Falcons, I believe. So we'll see. Pig Boss Move, that was my draft coach a couple splits ago, and always comes up with some really funky stuff that always works out in the end.
Yeah, we're gonna see if the coach diff is here. We just have Doki for the win here on the Guardian side. If you only need one coach, if you felt like you only need one, why fix what isn't broken? As we see the bans coming out, FLC, they banned the Nautilus, the Zaya on the side of the Guardians. They're gonna ban the Soraka out, the Diana as well. Wukong's still super strong. I think Jinx is super strong in this meta. I think, you know, Talia, we've just seen how strong she is. Don't know if other teams have been practicing it in other roles or if it's been only a mid lane pick recently. I think, again, she's strong in the jungle. Can be paired up into that support role more as like a brand-esque kind of damage support role. But the Zinzao being picked up, even after the nerfs, looking to get some early game action going, look to 3 camp. And on the
That's last
side,
meta.
yeah, wait, are they going to
Oh,
answer with the Trundle or are they going to answer with the Graves? The Olaf as well. This can be flex.
ooh,
This can be flex. It can be top lane or
it can.
jungle here. So let's see if the shenanigans are there.
Yep. So I think they should just maintain that flex here, right? Keep it going, and the Seraphine gonna be locked in, and that
That's
also,
scary.
again, I think can be a flex pick for the Guardians, knowing their players, right? No Attack loves playing that Seraphine, so if they lock that in, could be flex to the mid lane. We'll see.
And that's a scary composition too, right? Just those two champions. Like
Mm-hmm.
Seraphine with the heals, with the shields, right? With the lockdown for then Olaf to just run at you Mach speed. Just so you guys know, if you haven't read the patch notes, I know not everybody has time to read them. Not everybody has time to be updated on the champions. Olaf can infinitely sustain his ultimate as long as he's auto attacking or hits you with an E. Right? So that is how scary this champion is now, right? Gets the extra attack damage, the MR and armor. Like he becomes a force to be reckoned with, and it's almost akin to the old school. I say old school, but the older Sona, Tarek, and Hecarim drafts, right? Where you just power up this Hecarim, you'd have him run through your team. In the same vein, you can do this with the Olaf, as we see the Wukong Zillion being picked out. A nice counter coming in from Falcons here. Zillion able to revive and really just slow down anybody, even if Olaf is in that ultimate form, able to just really have that ultimate ready to revive anybody that gets dove from this Olaf.
I really do like this Mordekaiser pick here, right? Because it's decently strong at the Wukong top, but also denies the strength of that Xin Zhao, who wants to be looking for ganks early, who wants to be punishing some solo laners. And he's really good in those 2v2s, he's really good in those skirmishes, but a Mordekaiser can just say, ha, no, this is a 1v1. Have fun in the death realm with me, buddy. We're going to Brazil. But the Zeri going to be banned away from the Falcons here, and with the new adaptations that we've seen people going, Shield Bow, Phantom Dancer, just going for the somewhat, lifestealy and attack speed based build. She still does decent damage, but she's not nearly as tanky, but she is super mobile, and the move speed she gets from Phantom Dancer is pretty insane.
Yeah, she becomes more of like a lifestealy, like you said, drain, tanky-esque AD carry, which is super annoying. Kind of like a fly, where she's constantly throwing out her Qs and constantly throwing out her...
Skeeto. Pew, pew.
Yeah. And then eventually she's like, wait a minute, like you just whittled her down as the Nami gets taken out. So they're on the assumption that the Seraphine is going mid, or that it's going to be flex, so they try and take more support picks away. Blitzcrank being taken away as well. Yumi being taken out from the Guardians. And it looks like if they lock in this Leona, it's a guaranteed Seraphine mid, I would say. And to pick up on that Mordekaiser pick as well, it denies the Zillion ultimate, essentially, right? You go and you death realm somebody, Zillion can't save you. No one can save you when you get taken into the Shadow Realm with Mordekaiser here, and it's just a 1v1 at that point. Thresh being locked in. You said you wanted to see it last series on the Ducks, and now you finally get your pick. Thresh gonna be possibly paired up with Aphelios, can be picked up with any AD carry, but they do lack on the damage side for the Guardian, so they need to pick something more hyper carry-esque.
Yeah. And hyper carries are still decent, and especially with a Thresh. Oh.
I like this.
Vayne Taric. I actually really do like this. It's pretty strong anti-Olaf, but this Shastana going to be very good at punishing this Vayne in lane. So, no.
Ooh, Ezreal, Jhin, they have a lot to choose from here. They can even go Ziggs.
They
if
need
really
damage.
Don't pick
They
the
need
Varus.
damage. No shot.
Is it a Kog'Maw with the Seraphine?
No
it's gonna
way.
be Aphelios, right? It's gonna be
That's
Aphelios.
fine. That's okay.
Yeah.
That's not bad. I
Yeah,
still think the Tristana here is actually a lot more higher value.
Yeah, you do have that outright.
Oh,
and they
the
throw
Jinx!
us off. They throw us off. Go with the Jinx. Still a solid pick, has cleanup potential. You look at FLE's or the Falcons side here, they just have an anti-Olaf composition. That's all it is. It's like, you know
Yeah,
what? You're gonna get it onto us. You're gonna get either
that's it.
Tarek ulted, vulnerable, or Zillion's gonna ult and you can't do anything. And the move speed coming out as well. Zillion can really speed this Wukong up, or even this Vayne to dance around these fights. Now we're gonna see what Keystone Vayne ends up going, right? I have been seeing inklings of the lethal tempo Vayne, where she gets the increased auto attack range and she can ult and auto you from, a really solid attack range here, or you just go with the standard Hail of Blades. Regardless, Zillion has two very good targets to speed up here, and I honestly think Falcon's composition pretty much countered Guardians twofold.
Yeah, I really do like the draft coming in from the Falcons, right? So they have that Xin Zhao to just look to target one player, get everyone else away from that, and that's going to be that Jinx, right? Most of their damage is going to be either on this Jinx or this Olaf, so isolating most likely the Jinx, I think it's going to be really, really nice. So the Falcons have the Zillion to close that gap. They have the Wukong to look for big flanks as well, and this Targ to keep them alive, and the anti-Olaf capabilities, like you said, coming through from this Falcons draft is just so strong. So just a great look coming in from the Falcons. That's Pig's mind going there for you, knowing what to do when you see some of these champs, and I respect it very highly. But the Guardians, though, we'll see if their player diff is enough to actually win them this game.
Yeah, really good adaptation coming out from the Falcons coach here, right? Zillion gets a virtually free lane down here, and that can also be flexed mid or bot as well. So they essentially match flex for flex, essentially, when the Seraphine gets locked in. And Zillion not going to have any issues, going to scale up fine. As long as you can CS and you know how to play the champion, which I hope Beanie does, he's gonna be nice and happy to farm up, get his items. Let's see if he goes more utility, if he ends up going more of the damage-esque build. Can go the Everfrost, especially has a lot of high value, I would say, into the Mordekaiser and, possibly into the Olaf if the Olaf doesn't have ultimate up. But you can also spec into a Shattered Crown. You can go Ludens. There's a lot of different things you can go on Zillion. And I'd love to see what he's going to end up going with this virtually, I would say, free lane into Seraphine. Not going to be a lot of early game pressure, I think, coming out from Xin Zhao, though. I mean, the lanes just kind of speak for themselves. Mordekaiser is going to be up in the top lane by himself. Seraphine's going to be playing super safe. Thresh and Jinx, very, very safe lane. And it's not like Tarek and Vayne have too much CC setup unless they use their flashes. So I expect a slow early game. Now, could be wrong. It could be another bloodbath like it was last game, but I'm expecting a very, very slow early game.
And the thing with the Olaf here, right? They picked the Seraphine with it, but I would have liked another, enchanter support like a Karma, like even a Lulu's decent, but anything that gives that Olaf just so much more ability to stay alive is really ideal in this composition. If you're picking the Olaf, you have to play for the Olaf. You can't just say, hey, I'm going to pick one enchanter and try and have a hyper carry. You have to realize that this Olaf is that hyper carry and play towards that strength that he does have, right? Play into that. And, I've seen teams, really good teams, draft anti-Olaf comps, but if you just have enough shields and sustain, the Olaf will not care about, his counters.
Yeah, it's going to be, can Falcons kite out the Olaf ultimate? If Seraphine's going to go more movement speed-based build, right? Going to go for that Shirelias, and if you're going to go Thresh with that more tank, because if you look at the Guardian side, they don't really have a true tank, right? Xin Zhao and Wukong, very, very beefy individuals on the Falcon side. Tarek as well, provides a lot of armor, is also probably going to go full tank. I expect the Aegis of Legion coming out from him. So there is a lot of damage coming out from the Falcons with the Wukong, with the Vayne, and Guardians don't really have anyone to really absorb all of that, so they're just going to have to try to out-sustain with the Seraphine shields, with the Seraphine heals, and even the Thresh heals, and Thresh shields, and the Lantern and everything. So, neither of these compositions super, super tanky, but if I were to give any semblance of a front line, definitely goes with the Falcons for me.
And I think the Falcons do have some really good potential to just burst one player out with this Wukong, with this and with this Targ ultimate to keep them alive, right? Play within that window. But I think the Guardians actually do have a lot stronger of a fight as the fight does extend, as it does go longer. Cooldowns exist for champions like the Wukong, like the Tarek, right? You can't have those ultimates up the entire fight, but now with new Olaf, you can have your ultimates up the entire fight, and you also will have a Jinx free hitting. So if the fights do go long enough, I actually do think the Guardians can sustain their way through and deal with it. But if the Falcons do get even slightly ahead, I think they are the ones who have this one in the bag.
Yeah, I think Falcons, if they take a lead, like you said, they can run with it. They can get something early. Well, it feels more on the Guardian side that, yeah, do have that late game insurance with the Jinx. But Olaf, I think, he does really well early, but he still needs to get that engine going. He's like a diesel engine, like you said, right? And then Mordekaiser, he's just going to be looking for isolated 1v1s. He's going to be looking to split push a lot. At objectives, he's just going to be looking to isolate the jungler out and looking to get those unfair smite fights. Like, he's not going to be doing a whole lot in these 5v5s. He wants to keep Wukong away and into the side lane so that Wukong can't get these devastating 5 or 3 or 4-man ultimates coming out from his clone and everything like that. So Falcons looking more to team fight, I think, in my opinion, while on the side of Guardians, they're looking to kind of get these small skirmishes going with the Seraphine, with the Olaf, and with the Jinx, possibly.
And overall, I think they look really solid. Both sides know what they want to do. But again, like you said, it's all about the execution. I think both of these drafts, they're both pretty solid. The anti-Olaf works really well, but the Guardians do like their split fights, like you did say. So with that being said, let's send it over to a quick break so we'll have both teams decide who will win. We'll be right back. Hello, folks. How are we doing? Game number 2 of the day going forward here. And we have the Falcons in blue on the blue side and the Guardians in blue on the red side. So both of the blue teams, stopping that base. That's pretty effective. They're going to stop the Xin Zhao from getting home all that early. So Stunna having a great showing here in game number 2, getting that first lick in. And well, actually, what we did see, though, is the team that did get that first little bit of damage was the one that lost. So maybe
That's true.
that's a little peek into the future, a little bit of results-based analysis here.
No wards coming out from either of these teams, right? Just standard
There's one.
vision ward.
There's one.
Yeah, it's just a standard river war, right? No invasion.
Doesn't really do
no
anything,
sort of.
though.
Yeah, it maybe can stop. It maybe looks out for the Olaf if he's gonna look to maybe like try to 2 camp and then go to your blue. But both junglers actually starting on their blue buff. But interestingly enough, Void Bullet Angel essentially saying, you know what, I don't want to deal with top lane. I'm not gonna go to top lane, so I'm just gonna clear my top side here and maybe look to play for bot because that's where you have the most CC early on with the Taric stun. while Olaf probably still going to look to full clear. The changes did affect that. He's not as fast clearing anymore, which is kind of unfortunate because he is capped at that attack speed and lifesteal percentage buff depending on how much health he has or how low he is on the health. He's capped per level, but still really good at clearing. Like I said, it's going to be a quiet early game, in my opinion, or it should be a quiet early game. Not too many lanes to gank for unless flashes are blown. Wukong's just going to look to farm and try to trade with Mordekaiser here, but maybe we can see some shenanigans in the mid lane, right? Zilean has some good CC setup. Same thing with Seraphine.
Yep. You know, one thing to note though is Spectral on their signature Vayne, right? You know, so we'll see if that's enough to actually win them the game here. A signature pick's gonna help a little bit, but you know, I think the Thresh here just really strong. Gonna be able to look for some decent plays here in this bottom lane. At the same time though, Olaf pathing up towards, looking for a full clear. He is actually camped up, already moving towards those Raptors and into a red buff. So the Olaf, you know, clear did get hurt, but you know, still faster than the Xin Zhao.
Yeah, Xin Zhao looking to go to his red buff here, might potentially 4-camp, look for an off-timer. Like I said, 2-minute 45 to 3:15. Come on, guys. Throw your wards down. You know they're going to be coming. Good job, Jinx, throwing the trinket ward out. I'm so happy.
And
still
yeah,
has
decent trade.
Yeah, decent trade coming out in the top lane as well. TSN pulling his ward out, putting it in the top side here. There's no Olaf is here, but they can look to dive. Wukong here is super low.
This is huge. This is a big play here. He still has the flash, mind you, but I think this is a really good dive opportunity here. He's so low. And there's the Ghost coming forward. Who's going to tank it first? Going to be the Mordekaiser. They hit the clone first, but it does not even matter. First blood goes over to the Mordekaiser up on the top side. The big bonk bat finds it.
Yeah, I don't know. I think maybe you wait, you hold the clone until you see somebody take the tower aggro, right? That way you can force them to take tower aggro without them really targeting you. But he was so low that the moment he took any tick of damage, you probably would have died from the AoE coming out from Usain on this Mordekaiser here. A very well executed dive. Good job from Stunna, whoever called it on the side of the Guardians here. 1-0 for this Mordekaiser into this Wukong lane, and just really clean stuff.
Yep. And overall, just a good look coming through. And level 3 has been hit for both bot lanes. The hook going to go wide from Foot Stomper. And things are as they expect, you know. Good looks from the Olaf, finding that early gank, getting this Mordekaiser, the stat check champ ahead, and he's able to rush those steel caps. And that's really solid because the Zilean damage isn't really all that much until once mid-game hits. So once he actually starts dealing with the Zilean, hey, that's fine. You take those every day of the week. So dealing with this Wukong just got so much easier because he's able to reduce so much of that early game damage from him because it's all about those auto attacks. You know, the Cyclone only comes out at level 6, and even then, it's not as big of a damage source as that E attack speed steroid. But we do see the Xin Zhao hovering around the spot side. The Olaf, though, making that big path down there as well.
Yeah, going to be covering the gank here potentially, and it can go disastrous for Falcons here if they force this gank. And actually, Foot Stomper.
Foot Stomper gonna get that flash stun. Beautiful look there from the Taric, but Foot Stomper able to flash away. There it is. The Lantern comes out, and they're able to walk away with only burning one sum. They burn the heal too.
Never mind, Salt. I'm just wrong. It actually goes disastrous for the Guardians there. They burn the hook. He walks up. They have to burn all their summoner, or nearly all their summoners, right? Flash down for Thresh here. Heal goes down for Disarius here as well. They see Stunna here, and they're not going to be able to do much. Take the pink ward out. Oh my god.
Oh, wait, that might have killed X-Cells. Oh my goodness, the damage though coming through the Vayne does a decent amount of damage here. It's percent health, but the Seraphine has walked down, able to find that decent roam timer, and they could just look for something else here. Foot Stomper still waiting in that wings, looking for a hook, but overall, not too much to scoff about here, not too much to talk about, as they do just look to shove in this bot wave.
Yeah, after that top dive, the game has kind of slowed down. They are looking to do something for sure, but you just have two scaling bot lanes, you have 2 utility mids, and then you have a Mordekaiser and a Wukong who Mordekaiser wants to be left alone most of the time, and Wukong is just going to look to scale into these team fights. So Void Bullet Angel not able to do much here. Olaf, like I said, gets the dive, but a whole lot of nothing happening right now, which is arguably what both these teams want, although Guardians with the 1k gold lead early on.
And they are going to try and just deal some decent work here. Hook going to go slightly wide there by Foot Stomper. Not too much there. They could just look for a quick little base there, get themselves a decent amount of items with their gold advantage. They do have a decent CS lead. It's a little, it's not that much, but every little bit counts if you're a Jinx who is just going to be able to space this Vayne out quite well as the game does go on and on. Moon Quiver already completed, and this Olaf already sitting there on this top side could look for something, could look for an invade. This Xin Zhao sitting there on the bottom side clearing up those Raptors.
Yeah, and Vayne went longsword 3 pots, and she's still holding on to 2 of them. Like that's
Mhm.
how slow the lane is going, right? That's how
Yeah.
little trading is happening right now. And like you said, both teams opting in for that. They're more than willing to do that. Gold lead is not really fluctuating past or in between, past the 1K gold point, right? It's about 600 now after everything's been evened up. Mordekaiser's sitting pretty. Wukong sitting on the longsword, Doran's blade. He knows his place right now. He understands, you know what? This guy's a lot
behind.
stronger than I am. Yeah, yeah. I'm behind, so I'm just going to relax for a bit as Mordekaiser's just going to try to shove this wave in. He's autoing pushing the wave right now. This first big objective, let's see if any of the teams actually were willing to fight for this, or if Guardians are just going to pick it up with their bot side here.
And the Xin Zhao is foregone his blue buff, right? They're looking for some play here in the bot side. It might be looking on the rescue, has no flash. They find the hook onto the Xin Zhao, though. The chompers are there to play into them, and the Olaf has a level 6. That's so much damage. They find one. They're looking for more. He's popping off. He's looking for more. One more, and it's not the triple, but it is going to be 3 kills going over to the side of the Guardians. 0 for a start for the Falcons, and it's just not looking good. And they get the Dragon 2 on top of it. They just take everything off the map right in one fell swoop, and the Mordekaiser taking the blue buff as well.
Yeah, Void Bullet Angel, like I said, right? If he goes in for a gank and Stunna is there for the counter, it's going to turn disastrous. Stunna, okay, so Desarius picked up 2 kills, but a lot of that damage was coming out from Stunna. Those axes.
Oh, it's all from Stunna.
It was really insane because he hit a really nice Q as... Wait, I'm not allowed to speak
Oh,
here.
no, you're not allowed to talk. They're going in, looking for something on XL's. No Tarek ultimate available. The Exhaust is doing a decent chunk of work here, but the Lantern is there. Gonna take it out, just walk away. They just look for a little bit of cheeky play, and it doesn't even matter.
Yeah, the new undertow for Olaf here, his Q, actually shreds armor as well. So if he hits like a multi-man Q, Jinx autos and Jinx rockets become way more effective. Yeah, they hurt a lot more. Jinx able to pick up the 2 kills, which is obviously what you want, but Stunna doing a fantastic job piloting this Olaf. Even was able to predict the off timing of Void Bullet Angel because they had so much red side vision onto that blue buff. If you look at the minimap, there's just so much vision littered around there. The moment they didn't see Xin Zhao on that blue side, they're like, okay, he's down here. He's looking for a gank. He's looking for some sort of timing. And right then and there, Stunna was there, and the rest of Guardians was there. Just turned that 3v3, and 2 kills picked up, 2.5k gold lead roughly for the Guardians. That's a 2-0 Jinx. I feel like I've said this before, right? Last series, where there was a certain carry that was super far up, and then somebody ended up just picking up 4 kills. So I'm gonna hold my tongue for now, Salt.
Yep. And all things considered, though, it's just great vision control, and I think that's what's letting them get these big leads. And just not too much to say, just good, consistent play. Haven't dropped a single kill. They're up 2.6k, and they're just kind of suffering here. The Falcons just can't do anything against this monstrosity that is the Guardians. Look at this. 1 auto in exchange for 4. Spectral's not having a great time here.
No, not at all. And, you don't play Vayne for the lane. I get that. But if you're so far behind and, Void Bullet Angel looking to maybe pay bot lane back a visit, but summoners are
find a
all
hook. They're looking for the play here. Desirus does have the heal, has the flash. Same with the Thresh. They have their way out. They find something. The play is there. The Chomper's going to stop Void Bullet Angel from going for it. Spectral finds the flash E, but can they do anything? No, it's a flash for nothing. TP's coming forward. The Jinx finds the rock. And that's a kill. It's turned around. Void Bullet Angel going to be slowed down. The TP's there as well. The flash forward. Bullet Angel finds, but there is a beautiful ultimate from the Xin Zhao, forcing the Jinx's flash. And they are able to find something in the end of it. At least a summoner, but they can't get anything else.
The number 1... Ooh, exactly. TSN, wait a minute.
Oh, Stunna taking so much damage here. But Olaf just gets instantly taken down. TSN finds the kill. That Wukong's just so strong.
Yeah, Olaf, you may be a CC defeating machine, but Wukong just does an enormous amount of damage for no reason, especially if he's maxing that Q, which it looked like. Got the devastating, or crushing blow, onto the big Olaf. Essentially
Monkey
the
bonk.
Giga Bonk, exactly. Yeah, and just was able to tear through Stunna's HP bar like it was paper mache. finally picks up the Gore Drinker. Yeah, but like you said, number one reason why you don't force ganks, you saw on that bot side. Void Bullet Angel had like a half angle, forced the gank so much CC. The traps came out from Desarius perfectly. A TP just to ensure it from Usain as well.
It wasn't even needed.
Yeah, it wasn't needed, and they committed.
Oh, the whole lands! BD does not flash away. The flame is there. One more do it and no attack. He just doesn't want to press his buttons.
All right, yeah, I'm gonna scratch my glasses. It must have been some lag or something. Beanie doesn't hit his ultimate, does not hit the get out of jail free card. The
no
reason
flash
you picked
either.
this character.
Just
No
flash the hook.
Maybe he thought, yeah, they're even pinging out the
Oh my
Zillion
god,
R.
look at the Jinx, it's just
unfortunately.
1v2! Just going for
Yeah,
it.
lethal
He might have to burn the
tempo.
terror penalty. Oh my, they can't even get it off in time. XL taking so much damage. And Desirus just in a 1v2 walks away with the kill.
Yeah, that's just not knowing your damage numbers, right? I mean, that's a Gale Force Jinx that you're trying to kill, right? With Berserker Greaves against what? Noon Quiver and Vamp Scepter Vayne?
Didn't
Like,
even have that in time, I don't think. I think it was just the Noon Quiver and Greaves. So just nothing there. Nothing in the tank. Beanie, though, gonna clear that wave, but the Rift Herald's still gonna get that charge off. At the very least, they get that gold in their back pockets. Dragon up here in 20 seconds, and the Xin Zhao is topside.
Xin Zhao's topside doesn't really think he can do anything. I don't think they could really do anything. The tier
No,
1 in the
they
bottom lane
cannot.
is gone, right? This gold lead that we talked about, where it was about 1.5 to 2.2k around the 10, I think 10 to 9 minute mark, balloons now to about a almost nearly 6k gold lead for the Guardians here at the 13-minute mark. If all goes according to plan, if Guardians just plays to their win condition, I mean, Jinx is 4-0 right now, a champion that should not be in this state at this timer in the game, and he's just going to accelerate them past to most likely a Nexus kill.
And they are going to be able to grab this Dragon as well. The Jinx just soloed it. Oh my. That's how far ahead she is. And they're looking for the play once again onto Beanie. You have flash. Are you going to press the button? It's not going to this time, but the hook goes short.
Yeah, really nice E coming out from Zillion. And Zillion going for the Shurelia's build. And Wukong also paying the taxman, going for the Quicksilver Sash, sorry. Really just negate.
Oh, Cyclone's been
Wukong's
used.
ultimate.
They're looking for something here, but a beautiful claw does allow Usain to try and get out a little bit more, but the sustain is there. He can't use that shield, and the Wukong finds the kill.
Yeah, Quicksilver Sash putting in work, right? It wasn't used here, but Mordekaiser has to hold his ultimate.
Oh my
Beanie's
goodness,
gonna
Beanie! He might be caught out here. There it is. The button has been pressed, but XLs might pay the price of those sins. But there it is. The target ultimate has been used. Gonna live for a little bit longer. He's trying his best to sustain his way out. Gonna be taken down. Spectral finds the kill onto Stunna. The TP on the backside coming through as well. Void Bullet Angel flashes forward. Fresh trying to find as much as they can. Cannot do anything. Double kill for the Vayne. Noah Talk has TP down, has the ultimate available. Void Bullet Angel trying to do as much as they can to get Desirus, and that is a Xin Zhao versus the Jinx. Finds that win, becomes Lady, flash forward, finds the charm, looking for a little bit more. The damage is there, no ultimate available. One more auto will do it, but they cannot find it. And it's going to be one down. Void Bullet Angel going to dodge away from that rocket. And that's a shutdown over to the Wukong as well. And that is just a big W for the side of the Falcons.
Falcons pick up a couple key shutdowns, win a nice team fight here as well. The kills going on to like we said, the right targets, right? Vayne picking up 3 kills. Wukong up 3-1 right now. These are your damage dealers. These are the ones that are going to be able to get onto your Jinx. Those that are able going to be to burst them down with the ultimates and really just look to negate this massive lead that Jinx amassed so far. You look on the other side, Gore Drinker picked up for Olaf. You have a Moonstone picked up for Seraphine here. So both of these mid laners going full utility here, looking to support their damage dealer, looking to support the carries on their team. And boy,
oh, Usain went way too far forward here, and he's taking so much damage, finds the ultimate, but it's on to the... Oh, he finally uses the ultimate. He does not have the W just yet, but the Olaf is there, showing their face, finds the kill, looking for a little bit more. He has the ultimate available. He's doing so much work. He finds the... But the Beanie comes through. The Beanie gap is there, finds the revive, and there's nothing that he can do. He's just trying to do as much damage as he can, but the ultimate's still active. He's still alive. He has the shield. He's trying to lifesteal as much as he can. He's doing so much damage. Can he find it? He's still doing alive. He's still doing so much work, but no! The Zillion finds it with that last little auto.
Yeah, but during all of that, the mid lane turn, it goes down to Jinx, and she's probably going to pick up another one. Spectral is not in any position to fight this. Even if she does have ultimate, Thresh is coming on the backside. You also have Seraphine pushing down that bottom lane. a lot of gold is being lost into these side lanes, and a lot of it is being picked up on the side of the Guardians here. That was a nice delay from Stunner, right? He was able to live for so long, and so much gold was funneled back into the carry of Jinx, and also just forcing them to answer into that bot lane side to not lose so much gold.
They get so much work done, right? They get a couple tower, or they get a tower, they get some turret damage down as well. So sure, they give up a kill, they give up 2 kills, but that's fine when you're taking neutral objectives, you're taking towers on the board. You need to try and get rid of these pieces, because those pieces give you so much vision around the map. So getting rid of them now, especially when you have this lead, is going to be very important. But this Mordekaiser down 2 levels is going to be struggling here against this Wukong, who's just sustaining so much with that Divine Sunderer.
Yeah, now that Wukong has the Divine Thunder, he's going to start hitting like a dump truck. His empowered Qs are going to hurt so bad. And if he can get onto, like you said, the Jinx, if he can get onto the Seraphine, these squishy members, they're not going to have any way to deal with this damage. Yeah, you have an Aegis, a Locket of the Iron Solari on the side of Thresh here, but it's not going to be enough to go through all this burst. You also have Spectral dancing around these fights. How well are they going to be able to dance around these team fights is going to be really up to this Vayne and how they navigate these team fights, because every single time right now, we haven't seen a 5v5 break out yet.
No, we have not, and we should see the Jinx picking up the rapid fire cannon. There it is, going to have that additional range, so we'll be able to space even further, and I just don't think the Falcons have that range.
You were tricked. Darius bought the rapid fire cannon, sold it back.
That's cheating. That's cheating.
And then went for the Runins, and is now also picking up a Kirche's shard. So probably gonna go for the rapid fire cannon on this as well.
Maybe, but that feels so low damage. So they do need to probably go for either a Lord Doms or a Infinity Edge to at least make up for that damage deficit, because you only have attack speed, so you need numbers. But they are gonna trade this Rift Herald for this Dragon here. They could just drop this one mid, try and grab that mid tower up as fast as possible, but we do see this Jinx just walking down this mid lane, maybe trying to grab this mid tier 2, get something off the back of that rotation from the Falcons.
Hopefully they don't get caught out here.
Nah, they have a Thresh behind them.
Down.
Oh! There, the Shirley's just not enough.
Shirley is not enough, and it looked like Falcons didn't really want to commit to anything. Actually, it was a pretty long time before they took the Dragon. Olaf not being able to solo it as fast as the Jinx here, but they pick up a mid lane tier 2 along with the Dragon, and they're on Soul Point now at 24 minutes into the game.
Oh no, you saying taking so much damage here, the Wukong might not even need to flash. Does not, but he does burn it solo. So great looks, this Wukong is popping off here. 10 CS lead, 2 kills up in the scoreboard as well. So he's looking to do so much work in this game, but this Jinx is so strong, and the Seraphine will be there babysitting her as well.
Yeah, in the next 4 minutes, what happens in the next 4 minutes? Essentially, that Dragon fight, that Soul Point fight. This is what's really gonna just.
Okay. It's not enough, but there it is. Beautiful Lantern keeps Desirus alive.
Yeah, good job from Footstomper playing in the back. Just having that Lantern ready for this area to clear these waves, to clear everything out. A lot was burned, right? Flash and exhaust from the Taric, the ultimate from Spectral as well.
Oh, they're looking for Desperate though. But there is Crescent Guard comes out, but there's the Seraphine double. They find so many members with it, and Spectral's still alive. They're doing so much work, but they find the hook into the tower. Foot Angel, beautiful flash over, but they might be cut out. TSN can't look for anything. No Cyclone available. He's already used it. He burned the flash of Beanie, stuck in the Death Realm, went to Brazil, trying to run away using that speed up, but is it enough? He gets bonked in the face, gonna get bonked one more time. Gonna be taken down. Noah Talk, take that one.
Nice double bomb there, but too little too late. Spectral backs, gets out of the bush. This is the Baron call. 20 minutes, another 20-minute Baron. Now, they take this Baron, they back, they don't need to overchase. They can get a nice 1-4 split going, right? Mordekaiser can keep Wukong in the side lane. You have Seraphine, you have Jinx ready to siege, along with Olaf and Stunning ready to dive, but actually
Bullet Angel might be cut out here. No Crescent Guard available. TSN has the Cyclone, gets so much damage off, but is it going to be enough to deal with the Seraphine? Shields, it is not. The Thresh is there to stay as that Warden, and they're going to be able to grab up this Baron. Nice and easy.
Yeah, easy peasy lemon squeezy for these guys. They just need to back here. Falcons looking to get a consolation prize, something right in this mid lane. TP is coming out.
TP's there too. Oh, they just can't get anything back on the board either. They're trying their best here, but TSN taking so much damage. One more tower shot. Oh, he's not going to be taken down. Does live for just a little bit longer. Seraphine just doesn't have the damage, right? She went that support build, so not going to be able to take him down. But they're traded for that top tier 1.
Yeah, Jinx picks up another turret for himself. Has so much gold in their pockets right now, sitting on about 3,000 gold. Okay, holds on to the Kirche's Shard, picks up the BF sword and cloak, crit cloak. So just kind of building whatever he really wants here. Super far ahead. And this composition is ready to siege, right? This is probably one of the scariest compositions to have against the Baron, right? You have heals, you have shields, any engage you do. Jinx is able to siege with rockets. You also have Mordecai who's just splitting that top side, most likely, or even just any side lane here. And you can just choose your engagement. You can choose when you want to fight. Dragon is coming up in a minute and a half, roughly, though. But I think they should really use this Baron to siege. And they haven't really been doing that, right? This Baron is another one of those keep away Barons.
It is a keep away Baron. They don't really need it, but at the same time, it's better in their hands than the enemy teams. So they are going to be trying to do as much as they can to deal with these waves. But it is hard to kind of push up, right? They do have the Xin Zhao Zillion speed up combo, so they can get their rotations off very, very fast. So it's very scary for a Mordecai to just walk up on his own. But Beanie might be the one who's caught out here, forces the flash away.
Flash out, nice little sidestep coming out to get hit by the W. Baron buff is going to be wearing off pretty soon here. They're just going to look up to pick up this Infernal Soul, it looks like here. And once this gets picked up, it's game, set, and a match, right, for the Guardians. They'll just be able to walk on through. They have so much damage. Jinx is going to be hitting you from a mile away with the Infernal Soul proc. It's going to be really rough to try to deal with this team once they pick this up. It's going to be a miracle still from Void Bullet.
It has to be on Void Bullet to make the miracle play. Try and get that Dragon. Try and steal it away. Stop that Infernal Soul. But no QSS. So I want this Mordekaiser to actually just walk down right now and be there for the fight. Teleport in, coming in from the Zillion. The teleportation device has been activated. Dragon up in 30 seconds. The top laners are still top. Neither of them have TP. But the Mordekaiser is more important here. He needs to be bot side to stop Void Bullet Angel from looking for a steal. Force the cleanse. Force the Tark ultimate. Oh, no, that's a disaster. That must have been a fat finger. Has to be a fat finger. Oh, no, they're going for it. The Zillion still has the ultimate available. Beautiful. Beautiful encore coming through. No R pressed by Beanie, and they're just looking to try and do as much as they can. Void Bullet Angel cannot do anything. Taken down, and the Vayne also falls on the backside of this fight. They can look to take this Dragon. They can look to take the game. They're just so strong so far ahead. Wukong trying to do anything they can on the top side. There's the Cyclone, there's the damage. This Mordekaiser does absolutely nothing. The QSS has been used, the damage is there, the healing is there. The Sunder are doing a lot of work here against the stat check champion of the Mordekaiser, forced to walk away.
Yeah, and Infernal Drake going to be picked up. Mid lane, tier 2, potentially Inhib also going to be picked up here. And just the side of Falcons, their whole team gets wiped here, right? Pretty much, other than TSN. And that's a 4-for-0. Picks up the Infernal Soul. Baron is coming up in 2.5 minutes. Mid lane Inhibitor goes down. This is game, set, and match for Guardians. And that Olaf is a big boy.
Yeah, the Death Dance doing a lot of work here. He's so strong, and Desirus also popping off here. Once he gets that next base off, will be in an even stronger position to carry the game. I mean, already doing so much damage here, right? Olaf and Jinx putting on a show. The Seraphine being that nice, supportive backliner there, and the Thresh being there for that Lantern to ward off the foes of the Falcons. And they are, nice Hex Flash, going to take down this tier 2.
Yeah, I gotta take the tier 2 in the bot lane here. Probably gonna wait for the Baron reset. They do have some gold in their pocket. Probably get some mana, whatever they can, and they're just gonna turn their heads towards the Baron here. And somebody's gonna have to answer mid lane on the Falcon side, because if they don't, you're gonna have supers crashing into your base. It's gonna be really hard to contest the Baron. You do have Wukong with the TP, so he's most likely gonna be the one picking it up in the mid lane here. Well, I don't see how Falcons walk into this, right? This dark jungle. They don't really have like a dedicated tank. Like I said, they do have beefier boys, but there's just so much damage coming out from Guardians here with the Olaf, with this Jinx, that even if you walk up, even if you're kind of beefy, you might just get punished for it and taken down immediately, right? Hook into Jinx autos, into Olaf Q, and you're pretty much dead.
The Armor Shred also just doing so much work means the Jinx does not have to buy an Armor Shred item. Can just go for that Infinity Edge, looking for that Rapid Fire Cannon as that third or fourth item, sorry. So it's looking really solid here. And look, they're shadowing this Mordekaiser, knows that that's the weak point, know that that's the pressure point that they can look to punish. But this Jinx being there with the Thresh means that they cannot do anything. Oh, TSN looking for the play, but great hook comes through. The heal is there as well. They're trying to find something, but the QSS has been burned. TSN trying to run away, but there it is. The Death Realm is there. Will he find his kill? The solo bolo finally found Spectral. Suffering here against this Olaf. This is the true damage, but cannot do anything. The rocket almost finds the kill. The bomb comes forward.
Insane!
The flash Decimate takes him down, and they're looking for a little bit more, but there is a Targ ultimate finding that's value, but it's not going to mean anything if you can't run away. Oh my goodness, Jinx just flashing for the Zonians is there. Zillion ultimate hasn't burned, so there's nothing left in the table, but the stun is there. One bomb is not enough. One bomb to save them all cannot do anything, and this game is over.
Game is done. They're going to push into the Nexus here. Death timers are long. 15 seconds on Spectral, 15 seconds on TSN, but they can definitely look to end here. Double wave.
It's a Jinx.
Supers in the mid. Supers in the mid. 5 members. This is GG coming out from both sides here, and just a beautifully executed composition coming out from Guardians. I do like the adaptations that Falcons had, but it just wasn't enough.
No, it was not. Good game, well played. The Guardians take home game number 2 of the night. Oh boy. They just...
Yeah, it was really, really good. And then Mordekaiser just kept Wukong in check. That's all he had to do. And you look at the damage charts, Olaf bringing up a solid 18, almost 19,000 in this 27-minute game, the most in the game right now. Stunna deservedly, gets that stat. I mean, he was just tearing through your team. I think the turning point, or the moment I knew this game was pretty much over for the Falcons, is when Olaf was just 1v3ing. Stunna was just 1v3ing, 1v4ing in that top side and was able to heal and stall so much. I was like, oh, he's a problem.
Yeah, that's a little bit of a problem. That was without Death Stance too. So not even at that big item breakpoint. Olaf really does spike at that 2 items, right? And wasn't even there at that point. Still just manhandling the entirety of the Falcons roster. But, we saw some decent work coming in, right? Void Bullet Angel did try and salvage whatever they could. They looked for some decent ganks, and TSN just holding a big, bat up, a little bonk stick up over this Mordekaiser, who was kind of suffering throughout most of the game.
Yeah, I mean, he was getting solo killed in lane, but his role wasn't win lane or anything like that. His role was, I'm going to be a side lane pressure. I'm going to split push. You're going to have to send somebody to answer me. And if you send somebody like Zillion or Vayne, then you're very severely lacking in very key compositional components to your squad. So you have to send the Wukong to answer that. You have to send that team fighting monster to that side lane. And if you're doing that, the 4v4 immediately goes into the Guardians' favor, right? You don't have any way to chew through the shields. You don't have any way to chew through all the CC that they have. And you just have, like you said, Stunna and Desarius hitting your backline, whether it's Stunna hitting it by running in with his ultimate and face tanking everything, or you have Desarius hitting it with his rockets from far away and just supporting and able to get a huge super mega death rocket in the backline and it's able to reset. There is just too much to deal with on the side of Guardians, and Falcons just could not find an answer. I thought they did, right? The anti-Olaf composition almost worked, but they didn't account for one thing, that you can just kite out Zillion ultimate, or you can just burst through it and re-kill, or you can just kite out Taric ultimate, right? That's why when you use these things, most of the time you're not really supposed to use them defensively, right? In case with the Taric ultimate, you want to use it while pressing forward because you have this invulnerability. Essentially, you have a window to do as much damage as you want and play as garbage as you want, and you can still get away scot-free.
But with that, we'll head over to a quick break as we get rolling here for game number 3 of the night, the final one. So we'll be right back. But we'll also have a quick little segment here, bring back Mr. Sai, and we'll see you in just a bit.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back on to the desk. You're now looking at a man who has lost all of his channel points. I put all of them into the Falcons winning that
Oh,
game, and I tried to go for the underdog play, and it didn't work out for me. But Guardians, what an absolute just masterclass showing in that game, in game two of our evening. Salt, take me through it.
I mean, it went exactly how like I expected it to go. The Olaf gonna be really strong, look for big plays around the map, and Jinx can't really be punished by a Vayne. She just kind of just outranges her. And once the Olaf went for that big counter gank and got the Jinx some kills, just solo kills happened in the bot side, and Olaf just kept running around the map over and over and over again. And the only death was in that 1v4. I mean, once that happened, like Shippy said, it's just doomed, right? It just looks so unplayable if that Olaf's able to do so much without a death stance.
Cyber, I thought you were gonna say it looks like an absolute massacre because that's what it really was from the Guardians, right?
Hmm.
It looked close in the beginning, and then as these team fights were coming in, and we talked about it offline. The moment I saw the Guardians win was just when that Olaf had his Ragnarok going for like half a minute, and he was just autoing, he was life stealing, and he was 1v3 in the top lane. I was like, oh, they don't have an answer for this guy. They have no dive for Jinx, right? Who picked up 4 kills super early on. Like you saw what happened. Taric ultimate was getting used. It was being blown preemptively, or it was being blown in fear of just the amount of damage that was coming out from the Guardians here. So, they were last splits champions, and they definitely showcased why they were right there. That is a statement game if I've ever seen one.
Yeah. I mean, it just looked really good from the Guardians. They basically had their pedal to the metal the entire game. They knew what they needed to do to win, and they played towards that and just popped off. I think they know where they want to play towards Decerus and the jungler, right? That is where they were able to look for big plays. It was all on Stunna, all on Decerus, and that's what they played for. They know their win con, and they're in it to win it.
Yeah, and you guys mentioned about how in game one, how that was gonna be decided by the draft, right? The
Hmm.
winner of that game was gonna be in the pick and ban phase. Do you think with the trouble of that Olaf that it was the same for this game too? Was there anything that the Falcons could have done to ultimately clutch out a win there, or was that game over as soon as that Olaf got locked in? We knew how strong he was gonna be.
I think the game was actually not over in draft, but just by execution alone, right? Just the reads coming in, the way that Stunna played was really smart and was able to deal with the anti Olaf by getting ahead, right? If the Olaf's even or just barely ahead at that point in the game, maybe the anti Olaf comp works. But because they were able to just read the jungle, read where they were going to go, and get the gold where it needed to be, again, that all had to do with execution and great reads around the map. And great vision control as well. That's something we should also mention, right? We saw some great wards all around the map from the Guardians. They knew where the Zinzao was in 90% of the game, and they were able to punish that accordingly.
Yeah, I also think they kind of hyper indexed into the anti Olaf comp a little too much, right? You draft the Zillion, I think that's more than enough. Olaf is really going to be doing damage to one target most of the time. Yeah, he's going to be ripping through your team with axes, but most of the time he's going to be Eing and autoing one person, right? So if you can speed that person up, you can get him out of the situation. You can even use the Zillion ultimate. I think that Taric kind of just was a response, and like, you know what, they might have a lot of damage, but I think the execution on Taric comps, it's a lot trickier than or more than meets the eye, right? Because as you saw, none of those Taric ultimates got an insane amount of value up until the last one, and even in the last one, they didn't have enough damage to follow up with the Taric ultimate to really make the most value out of it, right? Using it
Mhm.
defensively, in my opinion, is wrong. I think you should be using it as an offensive tool with the Shirelias, with your damage dealers, and pressing forward because they can't return damage onto you. So you have a small window to do as much damage as you want without any punishment.
And I gotta agree with you there too, right? And that's aggressiveness is what was needed, but because they're so far behind, you can never really have a Taric ultimate be effective.
Yeah. Yeah. It just it prolongs the inevitable
Mhm.
that was my thought, the massacre that happened.
Yeah,
The
the
pain
slow,
train.
Really what it
inevitable
was.
marching of death. That's what occurred. Now, I know that during the break, you guys were also discussing the aspect of Mordekaiser being able to be that split push champion, being able to draw out some of the Falcons' team and split them up a little bit, make it a little bit easier for the Guardians the Olaf to really cleave through the team and conduct that massacre. Do you think that was an effective display, or could the Guardians have even improved what they were able to pull out here? Was that yeah, okay, they won the game, but doesn't mean they're perfect. What could
Mhm.
they take forward into the next game? I'll go to you, Salt, because you seem
Yep.
into that one.
All right. I mean, the only weak point from the Guardians in that game was their top side, right? Got solo killed, Also got a little bit of attention too in the early game, right? So
Yeah,
if they can fix that up, clean it up just a little bit, I think they would have been in an even better spot. But because the rest of the team was already popping off, 4 members out of 5, and the 5 didn't even give up that much. So you know, just clean it up a little bit on the top side, and they have one of I think the best roster coming forward here, coming in next week.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. It is a little shaky, but like I said, Mordekaiser did what he was there to do, right? He did his job. Kept Wukong out of the team fights. He kept him away from the carries, and he just was like, you know what? You're gonna have to answer me whether you like it or not, and you cannot send your Zillion, you cannot send your Vayne to me because then you lose out on core compositional pieces to your team. And they just won the 4v4, right? And then they dealt with Wukong later. Wukong was fed, he was hurting. He was smacking people up with the stick, but he just wasn't able to do enough because the other 4 members were just so far behind, and they draft utility rather than a little bit more damage in the mid lane.
Hmm.
absolutely. Well, closing down that game too and looking forward into our final game of the evening. And remember, chat, this is only week 1. We have many more weeks left to come, so each team is going to be playing each other once tonight. But I think ultimately they're going to play each other, is it 3 times, if I'm not mistaken? So
Let's
over
take
the
a look. See here.
yeah,
Let's take a gander.
we can take a look. But looking then at our next game of the evening, we're going to be honing in and spectating Tigers versus Wizards, I believe it is. So the only
Hmm.
teams we haven't yet seen tonight. What are you guys anticipating from them? Obviously, they've already gotten a couple games under their belt to really feel themselves out tonight, feel what's been working, what hasn't been working. Do you think we're going to see this much more cohesive play from both sides? And I'll come to you first, Shibby, because I know Salt, you're checking some stuff out there. So uh, throwing that over to you.
Yeah, I think what's gonna happen here is that, like you said, it's the third game of the night. They're probably looking to play something a little bit more stable. They're probably looking to, like you said, pick something that they understand and know. Usually, from what I've seen, is after it goes 1-1, a lot of these teams, they're not, especially in week 1, not willing to pull out like the rabbit out of the hat, like the crazy pick, right? They want to save that for later. They want to save it for a time where they really, really need it and where they can jump in the standings. It is week 1, so, you want to stick to what you know, you want to stick to what you've been practicing, and you can maybe deviate a little bit, but I'm expecting Wukong to be picked up. I'm expecting Olaf or Talia to be picked up. I'm expecting some sort of Jinx, hyper carry, long range hyper carry. Kind of what we know is meta right now should be in this last game that we see from these two teams.
Yeah, fair enough.
Hmm.
And anything from you on that one, Salt?
One thing to note here, though, is that the Tigers are playing with a substitute top laner, right? Their top laner could not make it tonight, so they're playing with someone a little different. But you know, we'll see if they're able to make it work here. I've heard they are 1-1 as of now, so they
Okay,
are facing up
respectable.
here. Pretty solid, right? Take one, lose one. You take those, especially if you're not playing with your full roster, right? So here up against the Wizards, and this should be a pretty close matchup here. I think both sides look pretty solid going into this game, and depending on how strong both of their mentals are, right? If I don't know how the Wizards fared, but going 1-1 is pretty solid going into game number 3, right? But if it is an 0-2 record going forward for the Wizards, not going to feel all that great. But I think it's all right though, as you know, mental. It's just week 1. You're just trying stuff out. You're just trying to get rolling, trying to play with your buddies, trying to play with your team, get better together. Roll out as a unit. So see how the Wizards fare here. But I mean, both teams looking pretty solid here.
Yeah, absolutely. And let's see if the Wizards can work their magic and I got nothing prepared for the Tigers in terms of puns. So we're going to be jumping it over to the draft pick in just a moment. I want to listen in on what Salt and Shibby have to say about what we're going to be seeing going into our game 3, our final game of the evening between the Wizards and the Tigers. Meow.
I really think you can take a bite out of draft. Like, I don't know, they're great.
Yeah.
Like that's the
Mhm.
only thing I can think of for the Tigers.
Yep, they're great.
They're
That's
great, I
something.
guess. Yeah, so
Tony the
hopefully.
Tiger. That's their mascot. Or mascot. Oh my god, I
That's
cannot
not.
speak.
It's okay. It's okay. We'll pin it up when it's time to speak for the broadcast. We're fine, right?
Yeah,
When the
save it for the
play-by-play comes
game.
in,
Save it in game. Like,
exactly.
you don't need to care about how you speak now. Just save it for in the
Mhm.
moment.
Save it for the moment. And, we should be rolling very, very quickly here with the draft.
Oh yeah,
And
actually, but well, before we jump into the draft, because I think they're still setting it up. My apologies. Let's get some predictions actually, because we didn't get to actually check those out. So, Salt, coming to you. Any kind of inside scoop? I mean, I know we discussed Tigers are looking pretty solid right now.
mhm.
1-1 currently, even with a substitute in their top lane. Do you think that they're going to be looking to take this game, game 3, and getting that 2-1 lead, or you got a little soft spot for Wizards?
I'm gonna have to give it over here to the or the Tigers. Mainly because I think they have the strongest bot side in the entire league, right? And I think bot side is still really strong, and they have a pretty solid jungler who knows win conditions, knows how to play for that, and they also have a pretty solid top laner. So just overall, they have great lanes to play through, and as long as they stick to their win cons and draft themselves something solid, I think they can take this home. And the Wizards, they're pretty solid too, right? They have some great players. Castle Jr. played against him a few times. Solid jungler, right? But it's a lot of unknowns here coming in from the Wizards, right? So that's why I have to give it to what I've seen. I've seen some of the Tigers players and I know what they can do. The Wizards just don't really have that, that consistency with me. I haven't seen their players, so I got to give it to what I know.
Yeah, fair enough. Go with what you know. Don't glimpse into the unknown. But what about you, Shibby? How are you feeling?
I think Wizards can take it here with the strong mid jungle, right? If they can get that control in with Calcep Jr. and with Unloved here, I think the champion pools that they have tend to leave themselves really open for a strong mid jungle combo. And that's what I think maybe the Tigers are the weakest, right? With East and Karthik here. But yeah, I give it to Wizards. I think they take it 2-1. I think it's going to be through. I think it add a step further to that. I think their mid and jungle is going to be the reason they win this game 3. And we're going to see how draft actually pans out and where they're putting their resources. Because that's a bold claim you said there, Salt. The strongest bot lane in the league is Amistan
I
and
want to see it.
Dog Hugger. Yeah, now I want to see this. Now I want to see this lane kingdom.
Yeah, let's not get a Casticus going on from Salt. We get like an early
Hey,
gank
my
in.
predictions, hey, they've been working out so far. So, so far I'm 2-0.
Yeah, well,
That's
it's
true.
nice
That
to
is
see
true.
that the desk is split 1-1 for each of these teams in this final game here. So I'm gonna like even it out a little bit. I'm gonna say that I'm gonna go with Tigers because Salt, you convinced me there with that kind of description, the suggestion of how solid the players are here on the side of Tigers. If they can have that consistency, then yeah, I'll take it from them. So let's go 2-1 to Tigers on this one from the caster desk. And I think if we're ready to jump over to the draft pick, we can see what ends up playing out. See if we see a big boy Olaf coming back in, maybe more Wukong. I'm sure we will. So yeah, we'll throw it over to the drafts. Tigers, they're great. Wizards, the magic.
You're a wizard, Harry.
Yes.
Pop off.
Anything
And
from the trolley?
I got so sad because when Cyber said, "Oh yeah, we might see some Wukong," it instantly gets banned on my screen.
Ah, no.
So
The misery. It's
no
been banned
monkey business.
away.
No
No
monkey
monkey
business
business
coming.
indeed. First pick Morgana though for the Wizards. Very interesting here. I don't really like it that much personally, but we'll see if they are able to make it work.
Yeah, first pick Morgana Prio is interesting. Maybe they're just looking to negate any sort of bot lane pressure that can be exerted from these really heavy engaged bot laners that we've been seeing, right? The Leona, the Nautilus, even the Thresh to some extent. Wizards banning out the Vex, Gangplank, and Lulu, though. These are some scaling champions. These are champions you want to pick. And Thresh gets opted into the Morgana. I would have liked to see like a Lux Caitlyn, to be honest, into Morgana because of the outrange and the outrange potential. And it sounds like it would be right up the Tiger's alley, right? Such a lane kingdom kind of duo with Lux Caitlyn. You could just lock that in and you have pressure all throughout the map. And they teased me with the Ivern. I really did want to see the Ivern. Draven potentially going to be locked in.
Oh, the signature
Actually,
Twitch.
Twitch.
You have not seen Amistan's Twitch.
I haven't.
This man carried his team out of quarters with this pick. You know, they were down like, I think like 10k gold, but the Twitch was just able to carry the game all on his own. So, you know, gotta respect it. And Twitch also has some great roam potential, which is something that Amistan's really good at, right? So, I really do like the Tigers pick up here.
Did he carry that roams? Uh-oh, that's kind of scary. That's hard to play around here. But Kai'Sa being locked in, a scaling pick in its own right, but it's not going to scale as hard as Twitch. Now, my only concern is that if Wizards pick up the Taliyah or they pick up this like heavy lockdown jungler, you know, even the Jarvan potentially or even Olaf, Twitch isn't going to be able to do too much, right? You do have the Thresh Lantern there ready for safety, but if you can get both of them locked in as Mordekaiser, another one being seen picked up into this top lane instead of locking their jungler, surprisingly enough. So Wizards must have something. They're probably looking, like I said, for that advantageous mid-jungle duo to see if they can really exert their pressure and get a really solid win coming out from the Wizards here.
And we'll see what they're able to do with this Mordekaiser pick, right? It wasn't really as strong, but the Olaf going to be locked in again. So we're going to see, you know, two of those big rework champs coming in right away here in this VRD opening week.
Yeah, and we saw the havoc that Olaf wrecked in game 2. Will it have the same effect? It's even scarier, right? Because if you have Olaf coming from the front and then you have a Twitch flanking from the back, you don't really know what to do. Tigers banning the Ahri out, super strong pick. Anivia being taken away too. I think Anivia has a lot of value, especially against Wizards composition here. It's just relatively short range, I would say. You know, with the Kai'Sa and even the Morgana to some extent, other than binding. So I'm going to predict more mid laners going to be banned out. Wizards, if they're smart, I would just match mid for mid bans. You can't really take away the jungle pool anymore because of how many junglers there are right now. They're just rotating through Orianna. Orianna being banned. Okay. Solid team fight mid laner. Actually, never mind. Aurelia. Okay, that's fine. That's a top. That's a flex pick, right? That can be taken.
It is
top.
a flex.
You can send Mordekaiser mix, so you could do
I mean, you could also send the Mordekaiser into the jungle. It's clear it's not that bad, right? Its ganks aren't super great, but it will force an Olaf ultimate or a Twitch to buy QSS, right? So it's not terrible.
Ooh, the Veigar ban coming out. Even after the Ahri gets banned out, usually you want to ban Veigar if you're going to pick something more mobile like the Ahri, but maybe they're just afraid of that, you know, lockdown potential, especially Cage. So the counterplay to Cage that you just stay inside of it, but then if Twitch throws his W and he starts ulting
you're dead as hell.
Yeah, you don't really have much to do. And
I like the Ornn here.
Yeah, Ornn is nice. Ornn is a nice.
So some people,
like you said.
Yep, some people consider the Mordekaiser decent into the Ornn, but don't forget about the Ornn one-shot combo. He can take it down from 100% HP, and you don't get to play the game as the Mord, you know? So you gotta respect the Ornn horn, you gotta respect the Ornn combo. And, you know, always be afraid of the big ram up in the top side, but it's gonna be the Fiora in the top side.
No way
they baited us. They baited us.
No way they locked the Katarina here, right? The Fiora is a nice pick. Actually is seen as pseudo counter to Ornn, right? So the Mordekaiser being picked into the jungle, it looks like, is what I'm looking at. And they're not locking the Katarina, are they really? Oh,
no shot.
Oh, that is a scary pick for the Twitch. Zed ulti, you're dead, sir. I don't care if you have Lantern or anybody there. That Zed, he will one-shot you. If Wizards mid laner is competent on this pick, it is a nightmare for this Twitch. It is an absolute nightmare.
Very much so. I really do think this draft is... We are going to play with our fingers. We are playing solely with our fingers. We are doing nothing more. But, I mean, you can counter that by picking the anti-finger champion known as Lissandra. You don't get to press your buttons because you are stunned for 10 years. Have fun.
the only thing I see wrong with Tiger's composition is that they're just lacking on damage, right? It is really
They're
just Twitch and
relying solely on the Twitch. Solely
yeah,
on the Twitch.
Olaf has damage, but he's not gonna be that carry threat, right?
The
He's only gonna
1v9 champ.
yeah, he's not gonna be doing that, especially into Mordekaiser, Fiora, like all these champions. Fiora has more than enough damage to boot, right? Gonna go most likely for the Gore Drinker mythic, or can even go Divine Sunderer. Can go a lot of those melee mythics that just whittle you down. And if we're gonna play a scaling game, Fiora becomes such a nightmare in the side lane that Ornn has to answer. And if Ornn can't team fight with your team, you have no setup, you have no front line, and Zed just going to be diving you. Like, Lissandra's going to have to play on top of Twitch, which isn't ideal, because then you open yourself up to get Siege, you open yourself up to get Morgana queued. You have Mordekaiser ultimate as well, just to negate a lot of the either the Ornn engage, the Lissandra disengage. Like, there's going to be a lot of value coming out from Mordekaiser's R, but also if Zed is going to do the correct target selection and really start bullying this Twitch.
And I think that's the plan that they have to go for, right? Eliminate the threat, take him out of the game, make sure this Twitch does not come online. Is good rotations. This Twitch can look for big plays, but if he's not allowed to make those plays by a Zed sitting on top or sitting in the flank the entire time, it's gonna be rough. There are the bans. There they are.
Yeah, I wasn't seeing them. I wasn't seeing them on my screen either. But you look at Wizards' composition. You have Kai'Sa, you have Mordekaiser, you have Zed. Like, Mordekaiser wants to isolate you in the 1v1. Zed and Kai'Sa are going to be diving your backline. I fear for anybody on Tigers that gets hit by a stray Morq, because the moment they see that hit, you better believe Zed and Kai'Sa are double ulting onto that person. They're going to get bursted out immediately. And then if Fiora can just survive the early laning phase, because Ornn's going to probably pick up the plated steel caps, going to pick up maybe the Warden's mail and really look to negate a lot of the early pressure, Fiora will eventually outscale, and you're going to have to answer with somebody. And if you're answering it with Ornn, or if you're answering it with Lissandra, you lose either your engage. So you choose. It's a double-edged sword. You either lose your engage, or you lose your safety and disengage with the Lissandra. You pick your poison, and this Wizards has the ability to just dismantle this composition. Really, really, really good at draft adaptability from the Wizards here.
And we know that split push can be really, really strong. And especially when you've drafted solo lanes that aren't really good into split push, this Fiora is going to be even higher value. And this Zed does not really have to do much. Just got to shove a wave, look for a roam, could shout at the Fiora, could look for, bot plays as well. So it's a really scary proposition here, for the Tigers, right? They rely, again, this Lissandra has to play picture perfect to peel this Twitch.
Yeah, I mean, you said it perfectly, right? The mechanics have to be on point. Their fingers have to be better than the Wizards' fingers, and I'm afraid, that Unloved and Calcep can really start wreaking a havoc on these guys here, right? You do have, like you said, Amiston's signature pick on the Twitch. He's probably played against 100 Zeds before, right? He probably understands that there's a lot of dive coming out onto him, and he can position perfectly, or position, in a way that doesn't allow himself to get dived as easily. It sets his team up for success. But these team fights, I want to see how Amiston navigates these, because there's just going to be so many things thrown at him, whether it's CC, Zed ultimate, a Kai'Sa W into a Kai'Sa R. Like, even Mordekaiser, if Twitch opens up with ultimate and Mordekaiser just takes that away with his R, Mordekaiser is more than happy to trade his life for that, right? He's more than happy.
And I think that's what this Mordekaiser is going to be just looking to do, look for trades, look for things in that respect, right? Don't look for anything too crazy, because you're going to lose the Olaf in the 1v1, no matter what you do. This Olaf just outputs so much damage. The shield helps him out quite a bit, right? But the early clear is not as strong as it used to be. So just play for your win con, play for that dive, but it's all on this Morgana to look for those big roots, right? And because it's so, you don't really have the easiest follow-up in the world unless you land that binding. It's all on that binding. Kai'Sa cannot do anything until you land that. Zed cannot really look for too much because they get locked down if the bind does not hit someone. So it's it's very a one-note comp. They have to land the binding. Their entire their entire identity relies on landing that binding, and I think that's kind of scary to think about, right? When you only have one way to play the game, it gets a little scary. You need more facets. But the same thing can be said for the Tigers comp.
Yeah, they really have Ornn ultimate. I mean, Lissandra also allows for those, crazy like claw over into the flash WR. But yeah, like you said, it really is just up to Prometheus to throw a Q or throw a unshackled chains or ultimate onto the enemy team and really look to lock somebody down. Now you have multiple ways of getting out of it, right? You can lantern out Twitch, and then you have Ornn able to, I believe he can W out of the ultimate. You have Olaf able to R out of the ultimate, and you have a Claw waiting to get out of the ultimate too. So it is a rough job for this Morgana here, but I definitely think, like I said, it only takes a couple bindings, right? 1-2 bindings go your way. Oh, it's you start the snowball effect, and then you start trying to play catch up. If you're on the Tigers team, it's like, oh well, they have so much damage, we're not tanky enough, we can't take these fights, and they start having to walk into objectives. They have to start walking into dark crevices, and now Morgana ultimate gets hit, or Morgana Q throws out, or maybe the claw from Mordekaiser gets thrown in, and now you have all these different angles that Wizards can come at you from, which is also very scary. Like it's a pick and choose comp for the Wizards, while Tigers really just want to front to back you.
The Tigers do want to look for this front to back, and if they're able to get that key team fight the way they want it to go, it's going to look really solid. But, I mean, realistically, the Wizards should never be letting that happen, right? So it's going to be all up to execution. Who makes the first mistake, I think, is really what this game is all about. It's not about who plays better. I think it's who makes the biggest mistakes, right? If Amistan mispositions once, it could be over. If the Zed also, again, gets caught out, that could be a big catch too. So they have to be very wary of who gets caught and play around that. Don't get caught, because if you get caught, the entire team fight's going to be thrown out of whack, no matter what side you're on.
Yeah, true. And like you said, it's knife's edge composition for the Wizards, right? A couple mistakes here. If you fall behind on Zed, if you fall behind on a Mordekaiser jungle, it just not feel good to play, right? You feel so useless. You can't do enough damage. You can't tank enough. You can't really do much. On the side of Tigers, you will always have that sort of Twitch win condition. You'll always have that, hey guys, we're at level 16 Ornn ultimate, level 16 Ornn, level 17 Ornn. We're going to have a bunch of extra ornaments, like you said, roughly 5,000 gold of stats being able to be stuck onto your teammates. You have some insurance, while Wizards, you really only have that Fiora, I would say, right? I don't think Kaisa outscales Twitch. And Lissandra eventually just becomes a stat stick machine. She stops any engage. You can stuff it with Zonya's plus W and R. Like, she has a lot of tools to start stuffing engages. You just have to get to that point. And like you said, if Wizards make like 1-2 mistakes, it could just be over for them before the game even starts.
But with that, we'll send it over to a quick break as we get things rolling here for game number 2 of the night. Game number 3. So who will take it home? Again, Knife's Edge game, so it's going to be as scary as possible. We'll be right back. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to game number 3 of the night, and it's going to be the double 5-stack, from both sides. Binding going to land onto Karthik, but they find the hook onto Kausim. They're looking for the big turn. Who's going to be taken down first? It's going to be first blow to the Thresh. Stuck for Dale finds a beautiful knock-up. They're looking for so much damage. Karthik is down as well, but they find two. The zombies, they're doing so much work. Who's going to live? Next on the menu, it's a double kill for the Twitch, and this game is already popping off.
Double kill for the Twitch, a single kill for the Kaisa. Summoners blown left and right. Hoppin has nothing. Amistan has nothing. No ignites for the bot laners. Mid lane, no ignite. There's just so much being burned. The only summoner spell advantage that we have is Icy Rain still has the flash teleport and over Stuck here or Daro here only with the TP here. So they can maybe look for an early gank angle on this Mordekaiser, potentially look to path the bot. But he's going to want to be full clearing, like you said, with that passive super strong. Has that passive monster, extra passive bonus monster damage. Can keep shredding through it. But double longsword to longsword and a dagger and boots. I think the double longsword wins here.
I actually value attack speed a lot more considering the champ that Amistan is playing. Attack speed matters very highly when you're trying to apply your poison stacks. The little bit of AD, especially in these extended fights with the Hail of Blades, I think doesn't matter nearly as much. But Stuck for Darrow going to be suffering here. It is the Fiora who did get to start the spell that she wants, or forced to start that E for the invade.
Yeah, he's going to be laning up here, but I think things are going to quiet down just a little bit. I would say until these laners start hitting level 6, until you start seeing the dragon coming up, I assume both of these guys are going to really want to just relax, farm it out. Amistan's happy to do that. I would say Ornn is happy to do that, but he's going to be in a pretty unsavory position at the moment because of what the amount of damage and pressure Fiora can exert. And also with Olaf starting topside, he's not going to be able to help out unless he severely messes up his pathing. I wouldn't say messes up, but severely alters his pathing to help out Daro here. But that doesn't look like it's going to happen, as a dive can potentially come out.
Could happen. Mordekaiser is on the top side of the map as well. The pathing from this Olaf is in the bottom direction. So not ideal. Binding doesn't land, but they're not going to be able to find anything off of that.
Yeah, that was a nice binding. That was right as the minion was dying, so she concealed it with the dying minion, and that was really clean. Unable to capitalize on anything, but that, you know, it's a personal win for sure.
Little win, small wins, to take those every day of the week. Something might be happening mid here. It's a 3-man collapse here onto the Lissandra. She still has the flash available. The claw is there, but it's not really going to do all that much. East Pity gets out of there unscathed.
Claw for claw, and looks like Lissandra's
Pity might be down. The flash is forced. Great look from Unloved, who actually had the flash to continue following. No ignite, though. A little scary, but Doghugger might be caught out here. But the flay is there. Glacial Augment has some proc. There is that hook as well, but it's going to be another death onto Kausa. Prometheus trying to do as much as they can, but Hoppin trying to deal with this Olaf. There's so much damage coming forward. The flash is there. One more auto will do it. Prometheus takes that one. On the backside, though, East Pity taking so much damage. Finds the claw out. Has to look for a trade. Will fall. It's the double kill for the Morgana. Takes that away from the Zed.
Yeah, and with that kill, though, Unloved, I believe, got the Triumph proc to live. 2 kills going to the Morgana. Unfortunate for sure, but I'd rather have that than have my team die and trade those kills away. Really nice play from the Wizards here. 3-4 at the moment after that disastrous invade. Prometheus picks up the double buffs. He's probably going to come back with either full Roam Boots, Ionian Boots, Lucidity, or might just come back with Amp Tome. So, yeah, those are the Roam Boots coming in. So, I expect some really nice bindings coming out from Prometheus here, especially onto this mid lane with East Pity not having any sort of mobility, right, with the flash. Has to use the claw, and you can definitely predict that.
It's very predictable. It's very telegraphed, but, you know, it's a lot of distance that can be gained by using that. However, at the same time, you know, this Lissandra has 3 assists, so looking pretty solid here. But we do see this Olaf actually going for either the Stride Breaker or the Trinity Force here, opting out of the Gorge Drinker this game.
Yeah, opting out for the Gorge Drinker, unfortunately. I think Triforce is fine on Olaf. It gives him that stickiness, right, that we like to talk about, especially with such a mobile team like Zed, Kaisa, and Fiora. Allows you to stick onto the team a little bit longer, allows you to get that move speed, and really just keep your undertows going along with your ultimate. So I don't hate it. I don't think he's going to get a lot of Gorge Drinker value because of the mobility.
Oh my goodness. Doghugger just does not miss.
Just raw hooks him. Morgana was trying to bait out the hook, the second cast of the Q. So then you just black shield the flay and you just turn onto the Thresh. Luckily Thresh held his hook. He knows, like, you know what? I think I know what you guys are trying to do, and was able to hold on to it. A lot of damage coming out, but just like I said, it's getting pretty quiet other than that kind of river fight that unfolded. I think it was actually over Scuttle.
It was definitely over the scuttle. Cowstep was able to claim that one up, but in turn, that was the life. But they're looking for this Orin, but can they really do good sidestep there?
Wow.
Dodges away from that one, and Cowstep Jr. cannot find anything on the top side of the map. Oh, Dog Hugger. Oh, the Black Shield's already been used. Prometheus has no flash. Should be very dead. They're going to try and give this one over to Amistan. Beautiful work. And the shutdown coming through, giving those kills right on over to the Twitch where it needs to be, but Unloved looking for Roam. Can they make it happen? I don't really think so. Wave in a terrible position.
In a very terrible position. He's not going to be able to do anything, but he's actually going to go for the lane gank potentially here. They have to know something
They have
is
to go for
up.
Thresh is
If
very low.
Up.
Oh my goodness, look at that damage. That's a lot of work done onto Hopwin. Not going to do too much though. Or sorry, Hopin or Hopin. I'm not too certain, but they're hoping for a win here.
No, yeah, hoping. That's probably what it is, actually. But yeah, I think Amistan and Doghug here probably know what's
Triforce
up.
on the
Right, would
Olaf.
you say? Yep, it is Triforce on the Olaf, looking to get that stickiness down, like we said. Not going to get a lot of value on the Gore Drinker because he's not going to be able to get like those multi.
Oh my goodness!
Oh my lord!
Force the flash away. Has a lantern there. The hook is there as well. Can they find the trade? Shutdown goes over to the Zed, exactly where it needed to go. Great looks coming in from the Wizards.
And Unloved hits a massive double Q into E and then finishes it off, confirms it with the ultimate. The flash also went down for Amistan. Don't know if his exhaust was up.
Wait, this could be a solo bolo. No W available on the Fiora, but the mana is looking kind of low. The Ignite has been used, does not find that Q, so they aren't going to be able to find the kill onto the Fiora.
Yeah, it doesn't get that extra bonk or anything like that, but Cowstep and Prometheus picking up this Dragon here. They should be able to get it without any worries. Peace Pity spotting it out, but can only watch as the Dragon gets taken away. Doesn't even have that much of a CS lead, given how much time Zed spent in that bottom lane as well. So Unloved really just doing very good.
There's some decent damage there. Look at Unloved. Might be looking for a solo bolo. Forces the flash, and Dog Hugger is there in the backside as well. They could look for a dive potential, or they could just look for some plates here.
Yeah, probably just looking to shove this in as they get Unloved under the turret here, not able to roam. Just pretty good ability usage from East Pity. The ultimate comes out, you get the claw, you get the W root into the R, so you rotate your full combo, and Zed has the Merc Treads, opts in for that instead of the Hex Drinker, which is fine. There's a lot of CC coming out from Lissandra here, as well as the Thresh. So it
reset.
Oh, it reset. Tragic.
That is a tragedy, and they are going to have to walk away from that
leave
one.
It?
They don't have the time. They're giving up too much.
Yeah, they just have to leave it because unfortunately it resets. Dog Hugger here doing a good job getting these roams off, just being there in case, and that is what's really important for these supports, right? Roam timings, getting the correct roam timings on, affecting your lanes, but also just being there in case can be more than enough to save your team and allow your mid laner to play with more confidence, allow your jungler to play with more confidence. The next evolution of that is to start roaming with your jungler, start diving these solo laners, potentially these top laners, and really putting the hammer down.
No hook is to be found there. Hoppin taking no damage from that one realistically, but at the same time, Blade of the Rune King has already been finished up here for this Twitch, already having that early first item. Not the Mythic, mind you, but Blade of the Rune King is such a strong early game spike.
It is a very, very strong early game spike. And Amistan, he's just going to be able to get the kill here.
Oh, the heal and flash were forced, though. I think that's very worthwhile if you are Amistan.
Yeah, ultimate and looks like just the ultimate was burned actually from Amistan here. While Hopin burns all of the sums. It's interesting that he didn't see the hook go or the Twitch go invis. I believe he did it like almost like nearly in front of her face, but was just not expecting all that follow-up damage. Oh wow.
Oh my goodness, these hooks are nutty. And at the same time, Stuckfrick Darrow doing some decent work here onto Icy Rain.
Yeah. Darrow looking for the solo kill.
Oh, cannot find it, but look who's behind. It's going to be the Mordekaiser. What is he going to look for? He's going to look for the flash over the wall. Nice flash. Has to wait for this Mordekaiser ultimate to run out to get out. No, he's not. It doesn't even matter. The ultimate did not go off.
It didn't go through because he was out of range. He flashed out right before it happened. So really nice from Darrow. Technically burns 2 summoner spells, but one of them was from the spell book. That was a ghost and then a flash. Gets out with his life, but Icy Rain just gonna pick up some free farm here and potentially a turret plate. They know
They might
he's
look here. They're going, and stuck Victoris stuck in the Death Realm. Did not use that Bellows Breath in time to get that unstoppable going, but they might just look to try and trade it 1-for-1. Oh, Daro's still alive, but the Olaf is there, going to do so much damage. Look, he's just 1v2ing both of them. It doesn't even matter. The Ghost has been procced, able to dodge away. Karthik might be able to find the outplay, but can he do it is the question. No, he cannot.
No.
Cannot find the axe. He has to try
scary,
and run,
though.
do more alcove gaming. We're back here once again. And East Pity is there
Pity's
as well.
there.
The lifesteal is there. Oh my goodness, East Pity shows up in time. They find it, and it's going to be a 2-for-1. East Pity takes it overall 2-for-2 trade, but there it is. The Zed showed up as well, forces the flash. No way out,
everything.
but they can't find any skill shots. And it is just going to be a 2-for-2 trade overall.
Wow, after all said and done, Lissandra picks up 2 kills for herself. Zed burns the ultimate. Oh, Twitch!
Oh my goodness, it's just too insane from the Thresh Dog Huggers. Too good. 1 down, looking for 2. Double kill for the Twitch in the bot side.
They saw that happen while it was happening to them. Hey, throws the lantern, throws the Q out, lands it immaculately. Just a homing missile heat seeker of a Q there. Picks up the double kill. 5-1
Oh my
and 2
goodness,
on this
stuck
Twitch.
for
It is
Darrow.
looking
The
scary.
exhaust is there. Look how much damage the Ord is doing. This is the power of the champion. Gonna force Fix Icy Rain out of the lane. I cannot speak.
Icy Rain has been bullied time and time again, and Calcep has not been able to do anything for this lane, right? Gets a gank off, was able to get maybe 1 kill here, but all the efforts expended into this top lane. Darrow, once again, being
he's
the
caught.
meatball that he is.
Has to
Maybe,
dodge
yeah.
away. The Horn is going to be used. No ultimate available. Finds the knockup, but the stun is there. Walks right into the stun from Icy Rain, who takes the kill.
Nice, good
They'll
job
be
from
traded for
them.
Dragon,
The Herald. Yeah, the Herald is up, though. They can look to take this. TP is down for Darrow, so they can get this down really, really low. Use the Herald, potentially pick up first turret gold as well. It's looking. No, the wave
No,
is
they're not.
there.
They just get 1 plate and a kill, but they do give up that early Hex Tech. But the attack speed is going to benefit this Olaf pretty nicely. And also this Twitch, who is also building towards the Mythic, has that pickaxe, has another dagger, but they are going to get some decent work here. It is Fiora, who for some reason can Q towers.
Yeah, I mean, that's just kind of how it is. Unfortunately, kind of like the Trundle thing where he can Q towers. The blue team does get the first current gold here, and the gold has been pretty dead even amongst these teams. It hasn't really fluctuated past 1,000 gold for either of these teams. So a very, very close game, kind of as we predicted, right? This third game, they want to be more stable. They're gonna pick what they know. As I say that, you see the Mordekaiser jungle though in the Zed mid, but this is probably something they've practiced and are more comfortable with. I wouldn't be surprised if these guys have a handful of games.
Oh
on these
no,
characters.
East Pity might be caught here. Actually going in. Look for the play onto Hoffman. Doing so much damage, but the spell shield is there in time. Zed finds the ultimate, finds the outplay, looking for a little bit more, but the root is there. That's so much damage. Twitch going forward, look at the damage. He's bumping up. Tries on the backside. Fiora trying to do as much as she can, but the Olaf is here. The Olaf is looking for the play. He can do so much damage, but no, it's not enough. Going to get bonked. Double kill for the Fiora, and the Ornn can just sit there and watch from the top lane, not able to do anything.
No TP, nothing, and Amistan with the flash in, feeling himself. Unfortunately, like you said, gets Mordekaiser ultimate and just trades his life for it. That was a beautiful black shield coming out from Prometheus onto Hopen, right? Denies the Lissandra ultimate, so then Hopen can do more damage, pump it out, and then Unloved secures the kill onto East Pity, and then it's just a bulldozer from there, right? They steamroll through Tiger's composition. Amistan almost had it, but it wasn't enough.
They had no Ornn. It was a 5v4, but it was pretty close if you take a look at the health bars. However, just the fact that they did not have the Ornn there meant so much.
Yeah, especially in those corridor
Hopen stayed
fights.
way too long.
Amistan's gonna pick it up.
Yeah, yep. Why are you
That's
staying
just
there?
how it is,
It's
right?
a Twitch. Why
I
are
mean,
you staying?
He stayed for the turret, wanted to clear the wave, and pays with his life. 1, 2, and 5 now, has the Kraken Slayer in tow, but is still behind, I believe, on Amistan here, who's going to pick up his Mythic. I think he's going to opt in for a shield bow, but I wouldn't put, based off what you told me, I wouldn't put it past him to go Kraken Slayer.
It might be a Gale Force angle here, might be looking for that kind of angle. And we'll see in just a second here. Does have the gold does not have the gold yet in the back pocket, just 400 off.
Just 400 right now in the pocket of Amistan here. Calcep Jr., though, just farming his jungle and doing a pretty good job on the Mordekaiser jungle, right? Keeping in pace with this Olaf 2, 3, and 5. Oh, that's a flash.
That is, in fact, a flash. Darrow forced to flash away here, but they have the Ornhorn for this fight. They could look for something here. A second Herald, not as valuable as the first, but they are rotating their members up. Amistan still stuck in the bot side, though. What can they do? They're going to just give it. They're going to look to try and do something in the mid lane, maybe get some tower damage off, but that is all they can realistically do.
Yeah, Dragon is set up a minute and a half from now, so they can look to get some vision down. As you see on that bot side, there is just so much red side vision being littered everywhere. A pink in the river, a pink on the bottom side, some control wards, some regular wards thrown in, sprinkled in onto the red side.
Wait, they have a flank?
Of blue team?
They have a flank, they don't know it. He's Pity, just baiting so hard, and the Mordekaiser ultimate has not been used, but Hall been taking so much damage, and they use the Mordekaiser ultimate onto the Thresh, into the Death Realm he goes, and Unloved gets exhausted as he tries to look for the play, might be able to trade one back. Amistan's still alive, surviving because of the Thresh Lantern. There is the lock-in, and Karthik takes another. Prometheus next on the menu, going to be taken down very shortly, and E will do it anything, any little bit of damage. A Q, just land anything, and stuck for Darrow takes the kill.
Yeah, and Icy Rain has full HP, but he's not able to really do anything. Beautiful team fight from Tiger here, but are they going to be able to stop this push? Dragon is up in 45 seconds. The rest of Wizards is going to be up. If Tigers doesn't get their back timings off, they could just lose this Dragon completely for free.
For sure. It's 40 seconds, and it's going to be risky, but they do have the vision. They know where they'll be, so they know what corridors to avoid. They know where to walk. So all they have to do is play off that vision game, but they have no Ornar, and Icy Rain might have caught Stuck Frick Darrow.
Ooh, Darrow does not have the flash ready. He's just going to eat every single one of these autos. Yeah, he's death by 1,000 cuts. Unfortunately, got put in the Genjutsu, so he's dead, done, over, and now the Dragon is coming up.
They have to stall for 15 seconds.
Well.
The Dragon's up in 10, Ornn is up in 20. No Ornhorn available, the teleport is there. Calcep Jr. has no ultimate. The Twitch can look to kite this out. Look at the damage, it's Kraken Slayer. Popping off here. Oh, they're going in. They're looking to take him out. He has no ultimate. He's just going to be taken down instantly right before the Dragon.
He's dead. He's dead. He's just got singled out, CC'd down from, sorry, I keep saying Twitch, but TWTV Dog Hunter or Twitch TV Dog Hunter, but also with East Pity as well, right? I mean, that was just a CC combo lockup. The Icy Rain becoming a problem. 5, 1, and 2 on this Fiora. Has the Divine Sunderer. Gonna probably pick up the Death Stance and well. If you want to answer, you got to answer with most likely
Oh my god, look at the damage though. Unloved going in, looking for Amistan. Can he find it? But he doesn't do the damage. He can't land the skill shots. It's going to be a trade though. 1 for 1, 2 for 1. They are able to find something, but Fiora showing up, finds the flash onto Dog Hugger. There's the ultimate. The hook trying to land on the minion, but the minion dies too fast and he can't get out.
Unfortunate for Dog Hugger and Amistan here. Amistan does pick up 2 kills. Nicely well done.
2 for 2 overall.
2 for 2 overall, but these kills are getting more and more spread out for the Wizards. While a lot of these kills, a lot of these eggs are being put into the Amistan basket. If you guys recall in game 1, the Victor had 15 kills. And at the moment he died, the rest of the team fell. And this isn't even an extreme case of this.
It is, in fact, an extreme case, but there it is. The Brazil has been used. The Ornhorn is going to be used in retaliation. Who is going to live this one? That's a lot of damage, though. Karthik might be able to turn it after the Thrum ends, and he is here looking for something. The slow is there. One more Red Smite auto would have done it, but he cannot take down Stuck Frick Darrow.
Yeah, it's not going to happen just this moment. Not yet, but eventually they will be able to get him, right? Because he has no flash. He's going to have no summoners. It's such a game of, like, I would say cat and mouse of how far can Darrow push out before they answer him, before they answer, you know, with more than just Icy Rain.
They know they can't respond to that route, but they are going to be able to grab up this early tower here. First mid tower going down for the side of the Tigers, but they did lose theirs earlier in the game. However, they are looking to rotate somewhere. They are still down in towers. They're down 1 tower, but they are just about even in gold. But their comp does scale pretty well. They have the Ornn to give them that gold advantage in the late game. They have that Twitch who's popping off so far, but, you know, is still very susceptible to getting blown up.
Yeah, it is so scary for that Twitch to get blown up, right? Because once he goes down on that composition, there's no damage, right? Karthik
What do they
doesn't
have?
anything. Pity doesn't have anything, right? And then you also have Kaisa freeing you. And if Fiora stays alive through all that, she's gonna lifesteal back up. She's gonna use her ultimate potentially and get heal
Uh-oh.
from there as
This may be a
Daro.
very... Oh, no, that is not where you want to flash, my friend. Going to be taken down. The Grand Challenge has been played. Stuck for Victoris, running for the hills. Has the Ghost trying to run. Speed his way down, but it does not matter because Fiora will take you down.
Fiora, though, 7-1, looking really, really strong right now. If we take a tab at the gold at the moment, she's sitting on about, just 9,000 gold total, and then she's sitting on about 1,000 almost here. Gonna be picking up after probably this next wave or so. She is just so strong right now. 700 gold bounty versus the Twitch, who's has like a 150 gold bounty, 11-3. It's really which of these two late game carries can pop off the most for both of these teams. And I just feel the split push threat from Fiora is more damaging than maybe this team fight threat from Amistan here.
It is very scary. Again, ADC, you're very squishy. You literally get one tap by everything in the game. The whole meme is ADC Keck W, and Icy Rain playing one of these bruisers who just does not die, who becomes unkillable, dragging up in a minute 30. Then will they be able to find anything is the real question here. It's a little scary, though.
Yeah, Dragon is coming up in about a minute or so. Red wards littered amongst all of this. You do see some blue side vision coming in finally from the Wizards here, but it is... The control wards aren't there. They've littered their control wards on the top side, right? You can see it one of the
Oh no,
bush.
Doghugger might get caught out here. There it is. Beautiful black shield coming through to stop the CC.
Amistan.
Over the wall goes Doghugger, though. And Kaisa can't really do all that much here. Doghugger going to be taken down, though. Unloved looking for the play. The exhaust is down. Will be able to live it. Should be fine. But he does find the kill. Going to be taken down, though. The Ignite is there. He's Pity. Has no damage for the Ord Horde from downtown. Looking for the knockups. They're trying to do as much as they can. The damage is actually there. One more anything will do it. They find one. Icy Rain next on the menu, but the Zhonya's is there. There is the zombie. It's going the wrong way. Icy Rain trying to find anything. The Grand Challenge has already been popped. No more healing left in the tank. There's the armor shred there. 1E will do it. Anything. Can't find the knockup. Black shield is there. They find the route onto Karthik. Stuck for Darrow. Cannot look for anything more. Will be forced to just walk away.
Yeah, and East Pity actually pumping out some damage.
Oh, Icy Rain! They get the jungler! Flash stun. Icy Rain, though, so strong. The Death Stance keeping them alive. They find another kill. The Fiora's popping off. Can they look for more? It's a triple kill for the Fiora, and the Dragon's up in 10.
Oh my god, Icy Rain with the hero play from 7-1 to 10-1, kills 3, gonna pick up the Dragon potentially, but Amistan is here with Twitch TV Doghugger. Unloved is here with the ultimate waiting. They are preying on this Twitch and Thresh to face check this right now. You have 4 members strong, 5 coming in from the Wizards. Can Amistan do it? Can Amistan burst them out? Not gonna go for it. Instead, they're gonna pick up the Dragon. Easy peasy. That's good for them. Icy Rain put the team on his back on that one.
Beautiful play, looking to take out the jungler so they have no smite and can just stall for their own. They had the smite earlier, they can look for everything on the map now, but the respawn timers are there, Baron's up. So one fight could lead to a big siege.
Oh, one fight could potentially end this game given potential death timers on the map here right now. If Amistan has no sum. Amistan has no sums, right? Unloved can flash ultimate and look to get a bunch of damage down, right? He's been doing his job. Yes, he's been dying while trading, but killing that Twitch is so important. As you saw, Icy Rain with the sliver of HP was able to turn a 2v3 into a 2v0, right? Like, he killed everybody instantly. As long as Prometheus stays alive with the Black Shield, she virtually can't be stopped.
I mean, it's just really insane how much work this Fiora is putting in this game. Popping off here on the Grand Duelist, able to find these big skirmishes. Doesn't have to really participate in these 5v5s. And it's very scary. It's a 2k gold deficit here for the Tigers, but they're in a scary position here. This Fiora is so strong. Also building that Frozen Heart, so negating as much of that Twitch damage as possible. East Pity might be next on the menu. Prowler's Call being used. Is looking for a little bit more. There is the ultimate. The Frozen Tomb has been, but the damage from the Twitch is just too much. The does absolutely nothing as Amistan rips through the entire team.
Yeah, Unloved got bursted out. He flashed forward, looked for the ultimate.
Flash knockup. They're looking for Cowstep. They could turn this into a Baron if they find the kill. Amistan stuck in the Death Run, but he does so much damage. The Blade of the Rune King doing so much work. And they find another pick. Cowstep just sentenced himself to death by pulling himself into the Death Realm as they do look for this Baron right here, right now.
Icy Rain and Hope and R here. Can they do the 2v5? They're actually going to often just push the mid lane here, which is smart. Somebody has to answer them. Can they get the mid-tier 2 at least? That was just overcommitment from the Wizards here onto Amistan, right? They burned the flash, and they didn't even see him there until he opened up with the rat-a-tat-tat or spray and pray. Forgive me, I don't remember what it was. Was it spray and pray? Okay.
It is.
It's spray and pray. Opens up with that, and finally just nearly team wipes them, right? I guarantee you if Hoppin and Icy Rain were there, they would have died as well. Icy Rain, just gonna lunge out. You're not gonna catch him. Uh-oh.
That Twitch just did so much damage. It wasn't even close. Zed couldn't even get in range. Burned the flash and Prowler's Claw to get there. It just was not enough to close the gap.
And East Pity did a really good job with the ultimate, right? Using it to stop the Zed engage and also the W to stuff the Kaisa engage. Really just locked them down long enough for Amistan to get 1, 2, 3, 4 autos and the E off. And they were over, right? The true damage comes in, it ticks off, and you're just dead. That is a 3.5 item Twitch. Almost has the Infinity Edge here, while on the side.
So close.
Wizards
200
here.
gold. 200 gold, and the Twitch has, you know, the Infinity Edge and the Blade of the Rune King with the Kraken Slayer. That's just so much damage in one little rat.
Look at that Q. He's playing around the invisibility so well, dancing around the vision range, letting them know that, you know, I could be here, I could not be here. Amistan's gonna kill him.
Oh my goodness, look at Prometheus. So much damage, a double kill. Ornhorn wasn't even needed. And they take down 2 with the Baron. They can get 2 towers.
They can potentially end the game here. Death timers are 35 seconds each. Icy Rain, Cowsep, and Unloved do not have the ability to engage onto this Twitch with full sums, right? Flash is going to be up in about 10 seconds. Exhaust is going to be up as well. They can end the game here, Salt. No doubt about it.
They can end right here, right now. They just have to play pretty well. Stuck for Darrow tanking the towers for a little bit too long, but Doghugger being that warden, being that gatekeeper, they find the ultimate onto Amistan, but he does too much damage. Zed finds something onto Stuck for Darrow, but it's not enough. Cowsep trying to do as much as he can. Can he find the Twitch? He might be able to in the end, but they find the shutdown, but it's only Icy Rain versus the world, but the shutdown is there. They're looking for a little bit more, but the stun is there.
Icy Rain!
Gone, and they can end the game. Right here, right now, the Kaisa does nothing. The Morgana does nothing. The Flash Forward, they find the root. They find everything they want and more, and they're going to look to take down these towers, take down the kill, but Kaisa finds one. But it does not matter. The Ward is so tanky, but the Kaisa's actually doing some damage. Hook goes wide. Morgana is there, but it's scary. Oh my goodness. The kill. That's the game. Right here, right now. Tigers, take it home.
2-1 for the Tigers. You know, it was just Amistan carried. That is the definition of this game. The 15-5 Twitch opened up on you with the Kraken Slayer, actually the Wormfall and Sacrifice, with the Ornn upgraded item, and was able to take 2 out immediately. And that's what just opened up the game. They did not play around.
My goodness.
The
Oh
Twitch
my
cooldowns,
word.
the Twitch
That
Q.
is the
And
power.
unfortunately
the
for the
Twitch.
it looked good for them. 30,000 damage, right? 30,000 damage for Amistan here. The next highest damage in the game is Icy Rain at 16,000.
That's hitting an Ornn the entire game. That's hitting a tank with percent health true damage, and you still did not outdamage this Twitch. Put respect on Amistan's name. You know, I told you, the best bot lane here is here to stay. Amistan and Doghugger popping off here.
Yeah, that was, and it's not even one or the other, right? Amistan definitely carried late, but Doghugger's hooks were just a homing. They were homing missiles.
It wasn't a skill shot.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. These two guys really complement each other very well, and I don't think Amistan gets Twitch the rest of the tournament.
No,
I don't think so. I don't think so.
That's not happening anymore. You are not allowed to get Twitch for the rest of this series ever. Oh my goodness. That's the power of the Twitch. But with that, we'll send it over to quick break. MVP vote should be available in just a second for you guys, and then we'll do a quick little breakdown before ending it for the night. We'll be right back, folks.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back in after an astounding game 3. That was wild. That could have gone either way in that the final few moments. That really was the battle of the Titans. That was the Fiora versus the Twitch. Can the Twitch get shut down? Can MSN get put in the dirt? And no, it wasn't enough. The Stink Rat was here and just like hard carried that game with the amount of damage they're able to pull out. But Soul, Shibi, I mean, you guys can say it better than I can. Soul, sum up that last game for me. That was fantastic.
It went exactly like that game in quarters. Amistan had to put the team on the back. They were all behind except for bot lane, but it did not matter because they got the Twitch. You know, just how it is. Put respect on the Twitch. Gonna draw some bans now for the rest of the series.
Yeah, he's not getting Twitch again, right? Like
Nope.
there's and if he does draw bans and the rest of his team can't pick up the slack, like that's just I would go on the free agency wire if I was him. Like that's just how it is, right? Like if I'm drawing a Twitch ban in this meta and my team can't pick up the slack, I think there's something severely wrong. Although I will give it up to his bot lane duo, Doghugger. Like it wasn't just Amazon, right? Like he was doing a lot of the late game stuff, but that early game laning, the amount of
Doghugger.
hooks that I saw, the amount of hooks that I saw land, like it didn't. You said it yourself, right? So it's not a skill shot when he did it, right? I mean, he was consistently getting 2 kills, consistently hooking the Kaisa. A champion that has a mini dash, I would say, or a speed boost, was able to constantly hit it and was just able to peel for Twitch so well, along with the Lissandra. But yeah, I think there's that bot lane duo. Most of the time, you can look to it and say, okay, yeah, the AD carry is really good, or the support actually carried that lane. Both of them carried in their respective rights.
And that's exactly what happened, right? Both of them pulled their weight. This is a duo who knows how to play together, and they just popped off the entirety of this game, right? Like, I don't think I really saw too many mistakes from either of them, right? Like, you get Flash Prowler's Claw R'd by the Zed. What can you really do other than burn exhaust and
Exactly.
hope for the best? It's just really hard. There's no outplay button for that Zed, realistically, right? But once the Twitch just got strong enough to one-shot him before he could even get in range, that's when you knew
Yep.
the game was over.
Yeah, it looks like the Tigers had a couple of top cats. And speaking of top tier players, we have a little graphic here of our MVP of that game. Let's take a little look. I want to see this.
Oh, graphic
In
ready.
fact,
Oh,
I
what?
actually can't see it because there's a delay for me. There we go. East Pity.
Guys!
Hello? All right, you know what? Hey, he's fitting pressed the R button pretty well. You know, respect.
You know what? I don't know. I can't argue with the fans. They're correct. I actually fan voted this time. I voted for Doghugger too, and so I don't know. It just wasn't enough. I'm sorry. East Pity gets the MVP going in the game 3. Was able to, 6-4-12. Pretty solid scoreline, right? He did have some very clutch W and R's actually. Like a lot of these fights. The reason Twitch was able to do the damage was because Lissandra was R'ing the Zed or Wing the Kaisa and just shutting down any form of dive that they had. And you pointed it out best, right? So Morgana was their only source of true engage. And even then, she just lands one binding. The rest of the team is coming in on you, right, with the Ornhorn and with the Olaf diving you. It becomes too much to handle. And Icy Rain can only do so much, but he's not going to be able to 1v5, right? He's going to have to pick out the targets, isolate them, get his marks off, and systematically go through each and every target. But if they're clumped up like a death ball and they're just running at you like that, yeah, you can't do anything.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
very true.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what I really love, gentlemen, over the course of tonight is just seeing the slow ramping passion and just the excitement that's been emanating. Shibi, especially. I know that there's somebody that's been kind of moving in the shadows in the background from time to time on your screen, and I bet she's upstairs right now. And she's like, "Thank God that was only thank God it was only 3 games tonight." Like the yelling, the screams, the intensity. It was beautiful to see. But yeah, I mean, looking at that game 3, that was fantastic. Tigers, Wizards there, closing it out for the evening for us, and I mean, That's just the power of Twitch, I guess. The power of the best bot lane in the competition, as you say, Salt. But what are you guys then looking forward to next week? We've obviously got the return next Tuesday of the Victoris rival drafts here. We're going to be seeing all these teams once more, switching it up, going to be playing different opponents. What are you guys hoping to see from there? Hoping to see that these teams have maybe got their comfort, understanding what the kind of strats are of the other teams, the comfortability, the skill level of the other teams. What are you hoping to see from that? I'll come over to you, Salt.
So we saw what each team wants to play for, right? Win conditions that they want to set up and play towards. So you either need to decide to lean into your win condition or try and decimate the others. So, I mean, some teams are going to be better at that while other teams are going to be worse. So it's really a decision. Do you want to play for what you're good for, or do you want to destroy what they're bad at, right? Because you've seen what they can do. A good amount of these matches are already up on stream, and if you can also take a look at the match histories when they do come out, right? So you know where to play for, you know where to look for. It's just more so a decision on, do we think that our win condition is better than theirs? And if ours is not better than theirs, we have to take theirs down, right? That's what really has
Yeah.
to be decided on in these next upcoming weeks.
Yeah, I like how you bring the point of play styles, right, and hyper indexing. Because at any point in time, if you choose to hyper index into like a mid carry role or a top carry
Mhm.
role, you also have to reflect on how that style can either counter the other person's style, right? Like you said, where if both teams are just playing what they're good at, well, in this case, switch it up. Let's say we saw in game one, Duck's mid laner going against game three, right? The Tigers, right?
Mhm.
That is a different story, right? Because you have a hyper fed Victor trying to go against the Twitch, who's not going to be able to outrange him that well, and you see a different story, right? These stylistic matchups where this mid carry, hard carry, mid centric team can match up really well against a bot centric, bot heavy team because of just the amount of damage that mid laners are able to output and the amount of control that a mid laner has on the map, right? You can go affect bot, you can go affect top if you give them like a TF, a Talia, or whatever, right? So it is, like you said, you can choose to counter the enemy style, or if you choose to hyper index into your own style, how does it match up into the other team? Is it advantageous, or is
Mhm.
it worth us trying to pick something a little bit more cheesier, trying to pick something a little bit out of our comfort zone, most likely to throw off the other team's prep? And that's kind of where the mind games comes in. That's kind of where a coach is valuable, right? A coach, an
Mhm.
analyst, anything
Very
like
much
that
so.
can kind of take that pressure off.
Yeah, absolutely. Anything to add into that, Salt, at all?
Nah, I think Shibby explained it very well.
Yeah.
It's very important to like index, right? Just take a look at things, look at the bigger picture, right? And I mean, some of these teams have coaches while others don't. So we'll see how these coaches actually do affect these games coming up, right? Because I think teams with coaches might have a little bit more adaptability, or, sometimes maybe the players will come up with better opinions, but only time will tell, right? We're only in week 1, but there's only 4 more weeks left in the split.
Well, the thing is, not every team has a coach, but every team
Mhm.
does have Twitch chat, and Twitch chat is always right. So
True.
maybe if Twitch chat yell out enough of the strats that need to occur, then maybe those things can come to fruition. But something that I want to kind of touch on that you guys are discussing there, Shibby, you made some very great points looking into next week and how these teams can kind of metagame each other. But what I love about this competition is the fact that all of the players involved are ranging from plat to diamond. And you do just you have these expectations that can just be out imagined by the players, right? You have these expectations of what you're probably expecting to see from these players of this caliber, and but some players might just be really really good at a certain champion or a certain element of the game, and you can have these curveball moments, and that's what I'm really excited to see next week, because there was some really nice plays, some really nice alley oops. I think it was game 2 where we saw this really nice like Jinx rocket into a Mordekaiser slam. Like there were just like some really nice alley oop plays and some really good teamwork that I like to see for these really nice big kill moments throughout those games. So that's what I'm really interested to see. Can you guys speak on that? You guys are obviously very experienced being here on Victoris, but what do you think about how these players are kind of able to pull these things out of the bag, reach into their bag of tricks, and make something happen?
I mean, it's
Uh,
again all about synergy, right? Once
That's
you get ready with each other, that's all that matters. Synergy matters more than rank. But before I go on, Shivy, what'd you have to say?
yeah, that's what I wanted to say, right? You put it perfectly. It is you first worry about the cohesion. The first thing you tackle is how do we come together? Who's the strat caller? Do we strat call together? So on and so forth. Then the other things start to naturally come into fruition, right? Like you said, Cyber, the flash rocket into Mordekaiser Q, or you get like these crazy moments where you do the Scion Senna bot lane where you EW at the same time. These kinds of cute little tricks, they'll just naturally happen as you guys play together and as you guys play cohesively. But if you jump the gun and you try to go for these, oh, we're a set team, like we have these set plays, but your communication's off, none of this is going to work. Like
Hmm.
communication is the key to these set plays. If in any moment that breaks down, your set plays break down, your setups break down, the way you ward, you start turning, you seriously start turning off. And that's where you need to be the most active, right? That's where you need to be the most present as a team when you're setting up for objectives, when you're setting up for these team fights. If you're falling far behind, all these little set plays, they don't matter, right? It's how you guys communicate and really how you guys set up your keys to success. And I think that's what's really important.
Yeah, and leading into that then as well, I want to know from you two, who is your team of the day, or like a specific player that just really spoke to you, had a great big moment, or just played very clean throughout, didn't really make many mistakes, and then also, did you have a particular play of the day, something that just really emanated with you and got your voices amping? I'll come. I know that maybe you want to think about it for a moment, but I'll come to you first, Salt, if you got anything for me.
Player of the day, hey, gotta go to my boy Amistan. Although the play did not go to plan, the flash forward on the Twitch, I respect it. That's playing for DPS. That's actually playing for damage, not being that little guy who's sitting in the back. Oh, I'm just gonna auto attack from 10 light years away. Nah, you're getting in their face. You're doing as much damage as possible. You are actually playing the game like you should be. You are actually interacting with other champions instead of saying, I'm gonna farm for 35 minutes and maybe I'll do some damage.
Yeah.
Now you gotta get in there.
Ooh, this is a hard one. I think even though he was on the losing team, I think PhD is just
PhD
he's
popped
a
off.
he's a problem. Like that's his nickname, man. That guy's a problem. And a really good pickup right from the Ducks there. And although they lost, like I said, if just anything goes slightly different, we're gonna be we would have been singing the praises of PhD. That man, like he put his carry pants on and he tried so hard. And I think we're gonna see more performances like this, right? And I'm gonna keep singing his praises, like, oh yeah, this guy's like a monster. He's a problem. He's got to be dealt with. Although he was on the losing team, I expect him to have a lot more of these um, hard carry moments and like superstar moments. And like I said, if your team's not cutting out for you, you get on the free agent wire, maybe hook up with Amistan or something like that, right? I'm here for high level play. I'm here to break teams up, and I want to see some really good action. That's what I'm here
Want to get a
for.
super team, baby?
You can't move the teams
Victoris.
around now. No, they're set in stone, you know?
Oh, you can retire. You can retire, right? Is that what
Yeah.
the new cool kids do?
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
Play of the game, though. I can give you some time to talk about it because I know the exact play that comes to mind,
Send it.
and it was definitely the Olaf in game 2, the Olaf
Oh yeah.
1v4, right? The 1v4, he ultimates uses the Ragnarok, and I'm just watching him like hitting. Okay, ignore CC, Gore Drinker, hitting. Oh, another Gore Drinker. He was there for a solid 30 seconds. And the rest of his team got tier 2 mid. They got, I believe, the Dragon. They even got a bunch of waves down in the bot lane. Like, that, that is the definition of like, yeah, I'm just an unkillable drain tank that you can't deal with me. I think that's like what sticks out in my head, that Olaf 1v4.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
some great examples of some very high level gameplay that we got to see this evening. But that's not the end of it, chat. We've got next week to come back to, right? As we were saying, these teams, the players, the cohesion, it's all going to sync up in the coming weeks. We'll be back next Tuesday as well. So make sure you follow the channel if you haven't already. Follow us on Twitter, join the Discord, be able to stay tuned on all of the events that are going to be upcoming. And of course, we have events coming up every day as well on the channel. So make sure you keep posted. But anything that you guys want to discuss before we go for the evening? Anything you want to close out with? Any final thoughts? Any topics that we didn't cover that you really want to? Again, I'll come to you first, Salt. If you got anything, if not, we can throw to Shibby.
I got nothing. I had a great night. It was really fun. All the games were really high intensity, so I got to, have that high energy, right? It was super fun to watch.
12.10 is coming, guys. Be prepared. That's all I'm gonna say. 12.10 is coming. Be prepared. That's all I have to say about that.
Well, that'll do it for me as well. Salt, Shibby, you guys have been absolutely phenomenal. Like I've done a lot of casting, but like I really enjoyed the energy that you guys are bringing to it, the professionalism, just the ideas, the analysis coming in. You guys were everything. So thank you for giving it your all. Shibby, apologize to your roommate for us. And yeah, no, these are some great games. Chat, you've been lovely. Thank you for getting involved. The teams, phenomenal. Just some really, really great moments. There were so many clippable moments, some real high-level gameplay that we got to see this evening. Victoris, of course, thank you to the production, to the observers, to the mods, everybody that's involved. We really appreciate it. We'll be back next week here, same time, same place. Next Tuesday, we'll be seeing week 2 of the Victoris Rival Draft. I've been Cybear. We've been joined by Salt and by Shibby. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you next time.
Higher than a mountain, and we be up here for the long run, strapping for a long one. We got everybody on one. Now you coming at the king, so you better not miss. And we only get stronger with everything I carry up on my back. You should paint it up with a target. Why would you dare me to do it again? Come get your spoiler, but we're taking over. We're taking over. Hey, look at you calling our name. You ought to know by now that we're taking over. We're taking over. Hey, maybe you wonder what your future's gonna be, but I got it all locked up. Take a lap now, don't be mad now. Run it back, run it back. I got bodies lining up, think you're dreaming of greatness. Send you back home, let you wake up. Why would you dare me to do it again? Come get your spoiler, but we're taking over. We're taking over. Hey, look at you calling our name. You ought to know by now that we're taking over. We're taking over. Hey, maybe you wonder what your future's gonna be, but I got it all locked up.在以后，除了是傻子，还有其他吗？我左右，键盘琵琶在时间滴答着，还不够。你的固执让我来守候，哪怕太迟也不想以后。就在这时放肆的挑逗。I got the heart of a lion, I know the harder you climb, the harder you fall. I'm at the top of the